Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the EU HCS Pro League Summer Finals. This, though, is Relegation Day. My name is Bryce and I'll be bringing the action not only today but tomorrow as well for the finals for this tournament. We're very excited. Joining me, though, on the desk to kick things off, two wonderful gentlemen. It's Onset and Wonderboy. Guys, first of all, how are you?
I'm really excited to be here. We've been waiting for this for so long now. It's finally around. We've got relegation today. We've got the finals tomorrow. I mean, what a weekend of Halo.
Yeah, and today, 4 wicked teams all going up against each other is going to be explosive. I really can't wait.
It most certainly is. All right, well, let's take a little look at how this tournament is all going to play out and see how it's all going to go down. So, first of all, the bottom two teams in regular season standings are sent to relegation, where we will see them today. The top two teams from the open circuit finals qualify for relegation as well, so that's the 4 teams we will have. It is a double elimination bracket today as well. All series will be best of 7. We've also got a map veto system in use, which I'm looking forward to. Kind of adds that flavour to them, so we get to see the teams play their best maps. And then only 2 teams from today will make it into the fall 2016 season. So, along the line, big game for today. Do you think the teams are nervous?
I think everyone's got to be nervous at the moment. Relegation, I mean, you don't want to be the first team to be relegated out of the Pro League, do you? I mean, that's the title that nobody wants, and I think that everyone's going to be fighting tooth and nail to make sure it's not them.
Yeah, but if you're open bracket teams, obviously you want to be the first team to make it, to get promoted into the full season. I mean, obviously that's going to be the biggest goal for all those open circuit teams.
Certainly as well. I'll tell you what, let's take a little look at the teams for today so we know exactly who has got it all on the line. Okay, Dinosaurs, Pulse, NTSC, and we know the secret. Alright guys, who stands out for you here? You know, who are you looking at?
I mean, you've got to look at Dinosaurs at the moment as the team. This is probably one of the stronger teams, you know, in the bracket that have come out of the Pro League. They started the Pro League well. You look at the names on that lineup. You've got the Buck Twins. I mean, they have the highest placing out of any EU team ever at our national championship event, at the Halo World Championships. They came 8th place, and now they find themselves in relegation. So, you know, you can say they're strong players on paper, but they really haven't performed to this point, and that is exactly why they are where they are.
Yeah, I think the team there that stands out for me, definitely the 2 French teams, but NTSC in particular, a group of just French individual monsters. When they're all firing, they're a very, very scary squad. One of the open bracket teams, I wouldn't be surprised if we see them in full season. I really wouldn't.
Alright, well, we're going to find out those stories and see how it's all playing down as well. And for me, like I said, there's a lot on the line for these teams. I'm really kind of excited to see who makes it, who doesn't. For the Buck Twins, surprised me a little bit. You know, I kind of come back and go, are you serious? This is the Buck Twins we're talking about. Last time I was hosting a desk with them, they were in the number 1 team and certainly a force to be reckoned with. But now, fighting for survival. But what we should do now is take a little look at the schedule and the bracket to see how this actually plays out for everybody at home and to show you how it's going down. So we can see the first game coming up is going to be Dinosaurs versus We Know the Secret. Then there will be the French showdown of NTSC versus Pulse Gaming. The loser of both of those games will play next in the losers bracket. The winners play after that, going into the first of the winner bracket finals. Obviously, the winner of that game will qualify for the next season of the Pro League. The loser of that game drops down to face the winner of the first loser bracket game, and the winner of that game gets the second spot for next season. Guys, looking at this bracket now, is it an obvious one?
It's not as obvious as you'd think. The game I'm looking forward to most in the winners bracket at the moment has got to be that French derby, NTSC versus Pulse Gaming. That's just absolutely just an explosive affair. I mean, 2 French juggernauts pretty much just going at it for a chance at next season. I really can't wait to watch that game. It's not as clear cut as most people think. I mean, I could certainly see at least one of the open bracket teams making it to full season. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that.
I agree. I think you look at the 2 French squads, they're both fiery French squads as well.
Yep.
They've been playing so much Halo recently. You know, they are determined to get into the Pro League. On the other side, obviously, you've got Dinosaurs. We don't really know what to expect from Dinosaurs at the moment. You could have the Bucks playing at their best, you could have Cristola going off, Flames doing his thing, or we could have the ones that basically didn't win a series since halfway through the season, essentially. So there's definitely going to be some fiery games. And then the team that we're not really even mentioning is We Know the Secret. I think they've got the highest win percentage of all of the teams from the open circuit so far. So that's the team we're not talking about, and they've won the most. So yes,
it's a lot of stories coming into this, and I'm quite excited to actually see how it all goes down. Like I said, for some of these players, reputation is on the line for more than anything, especially maybe the Buck Twins going to come under a lot of scrutiny today. But I've asked you guys, you know, what you think of the bracket. Let's ask the people at home. Remember, you can join in at HCS and at ESL Halo. You can kind of keep the conversation, and we'll be keeping an eye on that all weekend long as well. So make sure you tweet in and tell us exactly what you think. We'll be keeping an eye on it. We've got Harry. Harry will be manning it personally. He'll be the one keeping an eye on it.
Okay.
That's your new job, I've decided.
Oh, right. No,
I just make the decisions.
You know what? I've just been doing odds and ends all season long. I may as well just do this as well. Yeah, why not?
We've given you a new job.
Okay, all right. Let's do it.
It's all to Harry. All right, well, let's kind of get into this map then, because it is important. We are going to be breaking it down. First of all, we are going to see the Dinosaurs versus We Know the Secret. All right, initial thoughts of this game.
I don't know, man. It's going to be, every single game is going to be crazy, but this is all about Dinosaurs having everything to lose at the moment. They're going to be playing like they have everything to lose, whereas if you look at We Know the Secret, great win record in the open brackets they've been involved with so far. They have everything to gain. Yep. So it's all about, for me, how Dinosaurs come out early in this series as to how it will pan out. If Dinosaurs come out and they win the first couple of games pretty convincingly, we could see them sweep them. Whereas if We Know the Secret beat them in the first couple of games, then they get the belief that they can do it. There's no reason they can't.
A lot of storylines in this matchup, actually. Obviously, we have Flames and Cristola on the Dinosaur side. Beck Zeus on We Know the Secret actually teamed with those two at their first ever open event. So that's an interesting one. And also, we also have Shurzy 2, I do believe, is cousin of Cristola, who's on Dinosaurs as well. So a lot of interesting kind of storylines going into this one. Very, obviously, players that know each other a lot and have played together quite a lot as well. So it's going to be a very interesting affair.
It's a family battle. I like the sound.
Family battle, yeah.
There's going to be
family feud is
yeah,
what it
exactly.
is.
You've got to kind of like it when it goes like that, right? I mean, for me, you know, I'm looking a little bit at the Buck Twins, and I think that's just because of me knowing them for a long time and knowing that they've been kind of one of the main faces of Halo for years now. And we're sitting here, we're talking about them. Are they going to make it back into the next season? If they don't, it certainly will be a shock for a lot of people, and you know, what happens to them after that? But this is the first step on that run.
Yeah, that's a very good point that you raised, because Dinosaurs, halfway through the season, sort of that midway point, after 4 games, they were 3-1. They were looking very good. They had just beaten X-Men. They reverse sweep them. They looked very good. They looked like the team to take down the then undefeated Fab Squad. And ever since then, they lost the last 6 games of the season, and on the very last day, they dropped into relegation, and Vibe just pipped them at the post to get here to summer finals. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Very hit and miss when we talk about Dinosaurs. We don't know what Dinosaurs is going to show up, which Dinosaurs team is going to show up. If they fire like they did in the first half of the season, they're probably going to win. If it's the second half of the season, I think they're going to have a much tougher time.
Alright, well, I can confirm we are ready to go into the map vetoes. Now, obviously, this is very important for these players, because you want to try and make sure you get the best maps you actually want. So let's take a little look at those and see how it's gone down. So, first of all, this is how it goes. Stasis taken away by Dinosaurs, Secret take away Truth, Dinosaurs take away Fathom. That means our first game will be Coliseum.
Yeah, I think Stasis was a pretty safe ban for Dinosaurs. I don't think they played it at all during the regular season, and if they did, I don't think they won any games. So not very surprising to see them ban that. Truth being banned out for Capture the Flag by We Know the Secret. It's very surprising. Every single time I've seen their stream back when Havoc was on the squad, they were 3-0ing teams very, very quickly. So I'm very surprised to see them ban that out. Dinosaurs, again, interesting that they banned Fathom, because I'm pretty sure they have quite a high win rate on that map. So quite clearly very confident in their Coliseum game, because they got 2 of the 3 vetoes. They got to pick essentially the map that was played. So they're very confident in Coliseum over Fathom, quite clearly.
Would you say that's a definite win for them then?
I think Coliseum Capture the Flag is a very interesting game type. I think it is very, because there's so many power weapons on the map. I mean, you have a scatter shot, you have a sniper, and you have rockets. I feel like any team, if they can control most of those weapons, can win that game type. So I don't want to use the word random, but I feel like it's very hit and miss.
Alright, fair enough. Well, let's roll on to number 2 then, see what number 2's been banned out. And as we can see, it's going to be Eden for Secret, Regret for Dinosaurs, Truth for Secret, then the Rig for Dinosaurs, and Coliseum being taken out for Secret finally, which leaves us with Plaza.
That looks quite interesting, considering that We Know the Secret of banned Coliseum in that series as well. And in the first game, obviously they're playing Coliseum, so maybe We Know the Secret don't feel too confident on Coliseum. But Plaza, I mean, we've seen both of these teams win games on this map. It's, you know, at the moment, these vetoes, obviously, they mean a lot to both of these teams, but it comes down to it at the end of the day. I still can't pick between the 2 teams on any particular map. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how it actually plays out.
Yeah, that's actually 2 games in a row now that We Know the Secret of banned out Truth, so clearly not a confident map for them.
Now, once you see these, do you think it's maybe something that Dinosaurs will pick up on? You'd be like, oh, well, maybe they don't like Truth. I mean, I wonder if when we go through the rest of these videos, we are going to move on to Game 3. I'm wondering, you know, if they're going to say, well, actually, they consistently ban Truth. Maybe it's a weak map for them. Maybe we can take advantage of that and try and maybe dictate it. If they don't ban it, maybe we don't ban it either and we go for it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do exactly that. I mean, as you were saying previously, we've seen Dinosaurs be pretty good on truth, but We Know the Secret have also been very good on truth. So maybe there's a little bit of a counteraction there where they're thinking, we don't know how this is going to go either.
Yeah.
So they're sort of banning against each other and try and just take truth out the equation. So it's an interesting one.
I just love this though. It's like it's the game before the game. You get to figure out, what are the strong game types for the other team, and what game types do we want to take out.
All right, well, let's take a look at game 3 then, see how that one is going to go down. And you can see Empire, Plaza, and Eden, which means we're going to end up playing on the rig for this one.
Yeah, Rig Strongholds, I think Dinosaur was very confident in. Obviously, they're more confident in that than Eden Strongholds, because again, Dinosaurs got the ban, they got the final ban, they essentially got to choose between Eden and Rig. So quite clearly, they're more confident in their Rig game. I remember them playing Eden Strongholds against the undefeated Fabi squad in the regular season, and they got absolutely stomped. I'm pretty sure it was like 100 to 25, so quite clearly, they haven't quite figured out the kinks yet in the Eden Strongholds metagame, so again, quite clearly confident in their play in the Rig. I feel like that's a very strong pick, actually, for Dinosaurs.
It's interesting, again, you see the Plaza's been this time banned by We Know the Secret, whereas they're once again having to play at the end of the second game, so it looks at the moment that the vetoes are working out for the Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Well, is that going to be enough of an advantage? We've already kind of favoured the Dinosaurs a little bit in the pre-match. But let's move on to 4 now, because it is a best-of-7 series, so we'll definitely get to at least here. We're going to see Coliseum, Truth, Stasis end up playing on Fathom coming into this one.
Yeah, this one actually I do believe We Know the Secret basically got to choose. So because game 1 is already Coliseum Capture the Flag, that's out of the rotation, so we can't play Coliseum Capture the Flag twice in one series. So basically We Know the Secret with the last ban, obviously Dinosaurs there, you can see on screen, banning out Truth. They got to choose, We Know the Secret got to choose between Fathom and Stasis. They clearly decided to go with Fathom. Interesting one for them. I'm very surprised they didn't try and exploit Stasis, because I feel like that's one of Dinosaurs' probably one of the weakest game types for them. So very surprising to see them choose Fathom, which I think is quite a good game type for Dinosaurs, over Stasis.
That's quite interesting what you say about Stasis as well, because we saw the drop off from Dinosaurs halfway through the season. That's when Stasis started coming into the rotation. So maybe that's something that We Know the Secret didn't really think about, and maybe they should have done, because that would have been a game type that I can see potentially them working on.
Well, this leads on to my next question here. I mean, you two have kind of alluded to the fact that you think that the Dinosaurs may have got a bit of a stronger pick out so far before we move on to 5. We will bring up 5 now, but do you think this is maybe We Know the Secret haven't really looked at Dinosaurs playing during it? Do you think maybe they could have done a bit more research?
Yeah, I certainly think so. I mean, especially when this is like your first game in the relegation.
Yeah.
If you win a game here, you're only 1 win away from the next season. So it's very surprising they haven't done a little bit more research, or maybe they have a game plan. Maybe they're playing to their own strengths rather than the Dinosaurs' weaknesses.
Maybe they know the secret.
This guy.
Well, we'll find out. As you can see, Plaza already been played, so it's Regret, Truth, Eden, Coliseum that get taken out this time around, and we're going to be playing on the Rig.
That's 3 times in a row now. We know the secret of taking out Truth.
Yep.
So
they don't want to play it.
Yeah, they are not a fan of Truth quite clearly, or maybe they think Dinosaurs are very good on that game type. The Rig Slayer is an interesting one. I think it's probably one of the least played game types in the pro season, in the regular season. I think we saw a Rig Slayer like maybe once or twice during the regular season. So it's going to be interesting to see that one played again. We know the secret with the last ban. They had a choice between Coliseum and the Rig, and Coliseum Slayer, very, very strong game type for Dinosaurs. They're very good at controlling the power weapons, timing them, setting up for them. So not surprised at all when they choose the Rig over Coliseum, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. I think those choices make sense to me from what we've seen so far as well. The Rig can be quite a one-sided game. It'd be interesting to see what the spawns are, who's red team and who's blue team for that, because if one of the teams gets the inside spawn, they're going to have a slight advantage, being able to get to weapons and power-ups, etc. So that might have come into that, it's factored into that decision, but yeah, game 5 the Rig, that looks an interesting one to me.
Alright, well, let's move on to 6 then and see how this goes down. The Rig already been taken out. Then we've got Empire and Eden, and we end up back onto Plaza.
Yeah, interesting one. Are we playing Plaza Strongholds twice in a row? I'm not really too sure. That looks like the Rig to me. I don't know.
No, that's what I thought. But
But anyway, I'm very surprised actually. Again, we know the secret with the last ban. We have to keep talking about these last bans, because you basically get to dictate the game type. You get to choose between 2 game types.
I've just had it confirmed it is Plaza.
Yeah, so it is Plaza Strongholds. Again, very interesting that we know the secret have chosen Plaza over Eden. We saw Eden Strongholds earlier in the Pro League season. It's not a very strong game type for Dinosaurs whatsoever. We've seen them get absolutely ruffle stomped, basically. It wasn't very close, so clearly, again, we know the secret playing to their own strengths.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we've seen some blowouts that Dinosaurs have been involved with, so maybe they sort of decided, we've got to just man up here and go for it, or maybe they've been working on it. We don't know. This is something we don't. Yeah, exactly. This is something we don't know. It's been a long time since we've seen these teams play at the end of the Pro League, so they might have gone through some stuff. They might know something we don't. Again, so
they could have played each other.
Exactly. So this is things that we don't know. So maybe they've spotted a weakness in the opposition team and they're looking to exploit it.
All right, well, let's move on to 7 then and get this last veto out of the way. As you see, Plaza and the Rig have already been played. Then we've got Regret, Truth, Eden, and we end up on Coliseum.
Once again, we know the secret. Not a fan of Truth. That's 4 bans.
That's
They've
4 bans.
banned
4 out of 4.
Truth 4 times out of 4.
Before we get onto that too much, do you think that's now something any of the other teams, sitting at home are going, I wonder if there's a way we can get to play Truth? I wonder if there's a way we can force this team now to not ban it, or so they have to ban something else against us, and we'll take that straight away.
Well, it's interesting, sorry to cut you off there, Mark, but Game 7 Coliseum Slayer is actually a very good game type for the Dinosaurs. They took it, both Coliseum maps, against X-Men earlier on in the season. In the second game against the X-Men, I'm pretty sure they lost both times on Coliseum. But
yeah.
I still feel like Coliseum a very good game type for the Dinosaurs. Not very surprising that they chose it over Eden. I feel like these game types definitely favouring the Dinosaurs right here.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, we see Coliseum again at the end of the series, and it looks like Dinosaurs are more than willing to play that. It's interesting what you said about Truth as well, because maybe they've gone a little bit too hard on those bans on Truth early on in the series.
Kind of showed that
in the tournament.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah. You've got to keep some of the cards close to your chest, in my opinion. So it'll be interesting to see if that's a tactical decision, or maybe they do want to play Truth and they're playing that sort of game. So I don't know.
All right, so as I take it, you guys are saying, you know what, we think this is better for Dinosaurs, and that may allude to the fact that we've already said that we think that we know the secret, probably just playing their own game. They've ignored who they're playing against, more or less. There's a few times that we've said, well, we're surprised that they banned this, and we're surprised they took out certain maps because we know how good the other team, isn't actually at them.
Yeah.
So do you think we know the secret? Do you think it doesn't favour them, and we're already leading towards Dinosaurs?
I think it's kind of a show of confidence, to be honest with you, out of We Know the Secret. They're saying, hey, you know what, we'll play whatever. We don't really care. This might be Dinosaurs' best game type, but we're better. I think that's what they're saying right there. So I'd say the game type's definitely favouring the Dinosaurs. I actually have them maybe to pick this series, but again, I don't know.
I love the fact that We Know the Secret have decided to play to their strengths instead of the Dinosaurs' weaknesses. That to me shows confidence. That shows that they are going to, our best is better than you. That's what it says to me. It says our best is better than your best on this game type. We're not going to play what you're not particularly good at, or we're going to forget that. We're going to play to our strengths, and I've got to commend them for that. I think that's a really strong thing to come out with,
especially when you come out of the open circuit as well.
Exactly.
You're playing against a pro league team right here that have been playing all season.
No fear.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've spoke about it, and you're very confident in them, but does your confidence kind of reveal what your predictions are going to be? Wonderboy, I'm going to start with you. Which team do you think is going to take this one?
Yeah, I think Dinosaurs take this one. I think the game types definitely favour them. I mean, they're a seasoned team. They've played all season long against top caliber opposition. I mean, the pro league teams are no joke, whereas We Know the Secret have only really been able to play in competition, at least, against the other open circuit teams who maybe not as strong. So I feel like the Dinosaurs, it entirely depends on what Dinosaurs is going to show up. I mean, we alluded to it at the start of the program. If the Dinosaurs that played in the first half of the season turn up, I mean, I think this could be a very quick 4-0. But if it's the second half of the season, I think it's much closer. But I do think Dinosaurs take this.
Onset, do you agree with him?
I got nervous about predictions then, because last time us gentlemen were together, I believe the onset curse
is a real thing.
If that happens today, hands up early on. Sorry, but
he does accept bribes.
Deal with it.
If you want your team to win, you can just slip him a tenner. It'll be fine.
I'm going to go with Dinosaurs as well.
Okay.
Only reason is because I'm going to sort of mirror what Harry said. It's the experience thing. I can never bet against the Bucks is something that's always said in Europe. Time and time again we've said, you've seen them on lineups where you think, they're not going to do too well, or they're going to struggle here, and they just come through because they are the Bucks. They have played Halo for such a long time and had so much success. They know how to win, and that's something that you just can't teach. That's something you have to learn, or you have inside you to start with. So I'm going to go with Dinosaurs.
I am also going to join the pair of you on Dinosaurs. Again, known quantity, Buck Twins. I've known them for a very long time, and I can't really bet against them, to be perfectly honest with you here. All right, how biased are you towards Dinosaurs? Are you thinking this is going to be a 4-0? Do you think this is going to be all over?
Well, it's like you say, it's the known quantity, right? We've seen the Bucks play for so long, and we know the players on the Dinosaurs because we've been watching them all season. We only really have We Know the Secret, we only have film to go off based on the open circuit finals, and they didn't really look too strong there. So again, like you say, it's a little bit of the known quantity. I feel like Dinosaurs, we've been watching them all season long. We know what they're capable of when the going gets tough. I just think Dinosaurs all the way. I can't see them losing this series. I think it would, maybe, I don't think it would be a massive upset if We Know the Secret win, because there's a lot of talent on that team that we haven't really spoken about, like Anima and Septic. The two Germans on that team are very, very strong. But again, you can't bet against the Bucks. You just can't do it.
You can't bet against the Bucks. I think the only way that We Know the Secret can win this series, something that I alluded to earlier, is those first couple of games are so important for their, not even their confidence, but just also to knock the confidence of the Dinosaurs. So I think the first 2 games that we're going to see sort of the whole weekend are going to be so important for how everything turns out.
So basically, from what I kind of gather you guys are saying, is you expect the Dinosaurs to win. You wouldn't be surprised if the Dinosaurs even 4-0 this, to be perfectly honest with you. But maybe if you see the winner of the secret win, you think it'll go all the way to Game 7?
Quite possibly. I mean, all the way through the open bracket so far, we've seen Game 7, so it wouldn't be a surprise if we did. However, I still think these first couple of games are so crucial. Dinosaurs take them, I can see a 4-0. If we know the secret, I mean, we could see an extended series, and then we could see them taking it. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it anyway.
All right, well, guys, thank you very much for all your feedback into this one. We aren't ready to get this one underway, however. It is going to be Dinosaurs versus We Know the Secret, and it's time to hand over to our casters. Bravo, Sims, please take it away.
Thank you very much, Brian. So yes, welcome along everybody from around the world to, of course, the Relegation. My name is Sims, and this beautiful man, Andy. It's a pleasure to have you back in the UK.
Hey, it's good to be here. Of course, anytime I get to check out International Halo, whether it be UK, Europe's finest, it's a fantastic opportunity, and today is a really cool opportunity because Onset talked about it earlier, but this will be the first time that teams are fighting for relegation, and this is the first time that in such a competitive format that teams are actually fighting for, are they going to be competing in Pro League for these next few months over the fall season, or are they going to have to fight through Open?
I think the most important thing is when we have the teams downstairs currently, they're all watching this, they're all quite wondering, they've all secured their spot in fall season, but they need to see who are we going to be playing in fall season. There's 2 more teams that we will send to that fall area, but everything's on the line, man. There's a lot of pressure, and anything can happen. I mean, we've spoke about it. I spoke about it with Tashi last week over at 343. It's like, it's the same in North America. We don't know if the same teams will be, and it's a big, thing.
The relegation stories actually aren't too different, right? You have these powerhouse teams, veteran players. If you looked at Dinosaurs in Europe, if you look at Optic Gaming, right, as well as Liquid in North America, these are teams that have storied players, some of the best players in the region, and the fact that they're fighting for their spots here, it says a lot about, I think, the state of the game, the skill gap, right? There's a lot to play for here, and this is going to be really the first opportunity for teams to fight for their spot. Let's go ahead and take a look at the game types in this series.
Obviously, Coliseum Capture the Flag will be game number 1. Moving into game 2 will be Plaza Slayer. Game 3, the Rig on Strongholds. And game number 4, it could be a 4-0, who knows, Fathom Capture the Flag. Then we move into games 5, 6, and 7. We will have the Rig Slayer, Plaza Strongholds, and end it out on possibly a game 7. Anything's possible today on Coliseum Slayer. Now, this is going to be a very interesting game. Obviously, the Bucks of Dino. I say the Bucks, it's everyone else on that team. Flames, Cristola, they finished 5th in the league. They did get the opportunity by finishing in that spot to pick who they played.
Right.
They went with We Know the Secret, the last team to qualify, and decided to avoid the French powerhouse of NTSC. Interesting fact, the next game after this will be, and we were talking about beforehand, Andy, an all-French lineup, and today will be the deciding of, do we have another French team in there? Do we have the same French team? Do we have a different French team? Do we have no French teams?
Yeah, there's
or 2.
Yeah, there's a wide variety of possibilities for French players and fans here, of course, like you said. We could see a significant number of French teams in the fall season, or none, depending on how the rest of today goes. But we should talk about We Know the Secret. Of course, I am familiar with Septic and Anima. I've seen them play. I've seen them do incredible things in the past, especially put on some pretty miraculous clips. The question is, can they do it against the Bucks? I think we heard the desk before saying never count out the Bucks. I have to say it's strange that we're here now. Only a few years ago, if you think about 2 years ago, right, Bucks on top of the world, right, no one could touch them, and they've actually been part of a few different rosters that have dominated, right, all the way back to Halo 3, right, with Power Gaming and what they were able to do and really put themselves on the map. So it's strange to see them here in relegation in this way, but we'll have to see if they can pull it out.
The scary thing is that they were looking strong, and kind of Mark alluded to it a little bit. They were very, very strong at the start of the season. And then when they went up against X-Men, obviously their old teammates,
right,
they pulled out the reverse sweep. They looked good. They looked strong. And after that, it was just loss. They only won 5. After doing the reverse sweep, they only won 5 maps in the rest of the entire season.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a story that they've had. It's actually not too different, if you ask me, from what we've seen from EG in North America, right? This is a team that you expect to do so well. And then here we are, kind of wondering what happened in their second half of the season, and here they are now. EG, of course, was able to avoid the relegation matches. However, they will not be at finals in North America. But here we have Dinosaurs really fighting for their lives. And I guess the question I have to ask is, I didn't expect to see the Bucks here, and now that they are, how seriously are they taking this relegation match, right? Of course, fall season comes with a lot of guarantees. You're in the Pro League, right? That's guaranteed, has guaranteed cash as well as a chance to be in the fall season finals. So it means a lot to be there, and I have to really ask, like, how much are they going to fight for this?
Yeah, and you kind of hit the nail on the head, Andy. It's whether or not they've been practicing, not just stopped, kind of before the Pro League said, all right, we're going to stop and then we'll go again. I really, really hope that they've carried on over and over. They've done nothing but practice, practice, practice. But you know what, guys? Game 1 is locked and loaded. It's going to be Coliseum, capture the flag. Obviously, 3 caps will win the game. This is a pivotal game for both teams because whoever takes this one is going to be getting a big, big gain of confidence. We are on board with Buck 57, going to kick it off with his POV, putting some good shots on Vexus across the map as he will try and grab those rockets, but you can see on the left-hand side there, Flames is going to make work of them. Take them down, grenade goes in. Unfortunately, the rockets, though, will fall, but he doesn't realise Jersey 2's down there. Jersey 2's got himself the scat shot. However, the initial person he was flying at, of course, will give a bit of defense. You've got 2 players there, but look at where Flames is there, Bravo. He's just hiding away.
Man. Flames staying alive in that corner was a really big play there for him. It looked like they were in a lot of trouble, right? You saw 2 red X's on his screen. They're pushing up from low. However, Flames staying alive in red rocket corner really paid off. And then look at this also. Buck 20 getting the last shot there.
That was huge. That rocket just went flying past, managed to take him down. And now all of a sudden they're taking the sniper guy down as well. There's only one person there.
So let me tell you what I see right away here with We Know the Secret. This is 2 opportunities, back-to-back spawns off the opening rush and the secondary push where they kind of screwed up and did not get the outcome they should have. And when you see that early on in a match, what that's going to tell you is that the team might be missing a few cycles, whether it's communication, whether it's finishing kills. That was 2 opportunities, if you ask me, where they should have really got control. However, Dinosaurs is able to fight back from the lower, lesser man advantage.
Ooh, a little bit of an unfortunate snipe there as we see Septic coming in, puts a bullet in the brain. They did have 3 people in the back of the base. Now, they opted to pull the flag. For me, I would have preferred them to slay them again. They actually pulled it into, awaiting We Know the Secret. They had snipers set up. They had that entire area locked down, but they still run the flag into them. The sniper guy was an S3.
Yeah.
Bit of an interesting choice, I want to say.
Yeah, and Vex is actually going to get the sniper rifle back, which I like. Interesting that he pushed out rocket corner. I have to say I like the decision just because he had no help there, so he's able to clean that up. But they get themselves out of trouble once again. So a bit of some nice tug of war we're seeing between these 2 squads yet. No one really able to establish enough control to get the flag past Fountain, but you can be sure that that's going to be happening shortly.
I think we have to say, though, at the moment, probably in the hands of Dinosaurs. They've got them locked back into the base now. We can see Cristola and Anima going at it one-on-one. It's actually going to be Cristola who wins that battle. Vexus is going to throw a grenade across, see if he can tag him
and
up.
You have to wonder, maybe Vex could have tossed that plasma grenade, right, and had a different outcome. However, he doesn't. So now we'll go over here to the other side on the We Know the Secret base, pushing out from rocket side, teeing up a ground pound on Buck 20, but looks like Alex is going to get the better of him. So we'll go over to now Jersey here with sniper and flag.
So this is in. Oh, if he would have hit that, I would have screamed, holy hell. He's going to throw the flag out. That's going to be out in the open to give him a little bit of ground to move into that. But, of course, the Dinosaurs could just use that as bait. The Dinosaurs are going in thick and fast. They've got 3 rockets here in the hands of Cristola, so he can make something work. Turns around, gives one to Anima, wastes the second one, unfortunately. Didn't realize he was dead, but you know what? Might as well make sure he's down. Now all the players are down, so they're going to be coming off spawn in the blue corner. He misses it. He could have pushed forward to try and pulse it out, but it doesn't really matter because they're going to go there. Picks up 1 as he moves out onto the bridge. Now we see Cristola just watching the flag guys back. Didn't realize that was a random nade, but he still got the kill. He needs to be careful of Septic coming around this corner, though, and all of a sudden Alex jumps in for the support.
Yeah, look at that. Cristola using the backwards thrust to get himself separated as fast as he could around that corner, and I do believe they're going to be able to pull this in, Sims.
Yeah, it's nice to see that he's just waiting, make sure that he gets his shields back, doesn't get him back all the way, but nobody was chasing him. Bang it in. 1-0 now on the flags for Dinosaurs, putting themselves in the lead and definitely in a firm position. They're controlling that entire snipe side. No one's really pushing rockets. They're grabbing the rockets. They're making their way to snipe. He finds Anima just camping away, gets a couple of bullets to the back of the brain. Down he goes. And of course, in comes the assist middle. That's what we like to see. Teamwork hard sheet all the time. Jersey 2's going to go one-on-one. And again, more assists, Andy.
Yeah, it feels like Jersey 2 should have really had that cleanup. I think there was a little bit of miscommunication there on the We Know the Secret side. It looked like he should have been able to clean up that kill on a player who's top rockets, but you got Buck 20 on a flank as well. Oh my, I believe that was Anima, if I'm not mistaken, who picks up that kill there. But we'll go over to Septic. Haven't spent enough time with him yet in this match, so we're about 4 minutes in. Dinosaurs still leads 1-0.
And now we see Septic just anchoring the rocket area. He's going to grab those. They've got the flag on the move, so it's a good chance to get some kills and keep it rallying. However, I do believe his teammate has just dropped down. One player's below him, misses the first rocket, misses the second one. Buck 20's going to make him pay for that. Holy hell, that is a waste. And now this again gives Dinosaurs a chance to move the flag, but they've also got rockets. 57 with a double kill in the kill feed. This is going to be another cap.
Jeez, I mean, when he shot, he had to try, or I should say, we would have to try to hit that rocket through that gap in the way that he did. That's going to be another cap for Dinosaurs. They go up 2-0. They only need one more here to close out this game number 1. An unlucky turn of events. I believe you said that was Anima, right, with those rockets?
I think it was actually possibly Septic.
Oh, yeah, excuse me. Yeah, no, you're correct. It was Septic. So, unlucky turn of events. I mean, those weren't even pucket rockets. Those were straight
Just
through the gap.
choke.
We call that the six hole. As it goes straight through, it's almost harder to hit that gap than it is to not. But Flames still picking up kills in the fountain.
The majority of the battles, Andy, though, come in this blue corner and come from this area up on the DMR. You know, in the hands and in the side of We Know the Secret. They've kept him locked in this pocket, and they've really not been able to push out and get any map control or really any presence.
Right. I'll go back over to Anima. It looks like they're trying to bring this flag in. They've got 3 players going all the way home, so he knows he needs to get there, but that does not look good for them. As we'll go over to Shersey 2. He's also going to try to cap. I think he might get it here, Sims.
Oh, let's see if he does up on the table. Yes, he does. Just drops at the last thing, but they're going to put it back now. That's one on the board, 1 point. Nice little thrust there from Cristola to avoid, obviously, splitting nades all over the place. Will take down Anima in the back corner. Vexus is also going to get cleaned up from the left-hand side as we see 57 running in, but you know what? A grenade is going to come thick and fast. Septic off of the spawn. He's going into blue corner as well to challenge that one player and really just get them out of the base, but Buck 20 standing strong, and he's fighting the guy that's going to be a double. Doesn't quite get it, but oh, nice nade as well from Septic. That was a sick nade.
But look at this. I got to go over because Buck 57 is just about all the way home. Let's go ahead and stay on that death screen just to see if it is capped, and they're going to do it there. Flames brings the last one in. Dinosaurs takes game number 1, 3-1.
Great dominance there from the Dinos, showing why they are in Pro League and exactly why they are going to be staying in the Pro League. We'll find out, unfortunately, 4 kills there for Vexus. We have to look at the negatives, but you look at the positives. Septic with 15, 13, 12, and 13, and 9. Pretty much even Steven across the board at the top there for the Dinos, but yeah, 7 kills and 4 kills, not the best start for Shersey and Vexus.
Yeah, I have to say, I mean, if you said the kills category really tells the story, right? You saw towards the second half of the game, you saw Dinosaurs there able to just stay on the same page together, and they're able to close out that victory. So I have to say, at first, the first thing I noticed out of that match, Sims, was that we saw We Know the Secret with 2 advantages, right? Off the first rush, they got 2 players down, and it looks like they were collapsing Fountain. They were also pushing Rocket side, maybe pick up a few kills. They blew that rush, mainly because you could blame it on the Flames Rocket Corner spawn. However, Flames played that really well. And on the other side, right, the poor Rocket plays in the BR
that
pit.
Double was not the best.
Exactly, and and that could be it. I mean, that's just Dinosaurs not only capitalizing on We Know the Secret, kind of taking a few missteps, but it looked like towards the end of the game they were also out shooting their opponents as well.
It was. I still can't get over the fact that no one really made any advancement over Rockets. They were always kind of pinned back into the DMR. That every time they came off the bridge, you had someone up on S3. You had someone on the Rocket side. They completely pocketed them into that back corner, and just, as you saw by the scores at the end of it, they completely outslayed them.
Yeah, and as often is the case, right, the whole Coliseum CTF is really played. It's played in the snipe area, it's played in the fountains, it's played in the caves, and the key plays you make around there are going to be the difference maker. We saw also a lot of front bridge runs from Dinosaurs. It paid off. One thing I have to say I like about Dinosaurs' playstyle that I saw, it doesn't feel like they're rushing, right? It doesn't feel like they're rushing opportunities or trying to desperately run flags. If a flag can't be grabbed, they seem to be resetting it. They also seem to be setting up very close to each other. If you looked when they were pushing in flag, they had a player on bridge, they had 1 or 2 players in flag, and maybe 1 player on snipe side. And really that setup, of course, is what led them to be able to get those caps like that. So I like the patience we're seeing from Dinosaurs, and potentially, this is them in pretty good form.
Honestly, I'd be quite disappointed if they didn't have that. I mean, we know how many years some of these guys on there have got the amount of discipline then to do have, and we always say it during Pro League, we have to kind of watch 57. He's the man that will, and it's hard to put, the whole weight on one player. But if he falls generally and fails in a game, we tend to see the rest of them follow suit. However, when he starts to step up to that mark, when they really get going off, everyone, it elevates the entire team and they follow suit. Can we see it again? We're moving into Slayer on Plaza, excuse me. Remember, guys, tweet the stream, use the hashtag HCS. This is a relegation matchup. This is your winner bracket round 1, the first game of the day. We're kicking things off with Buck 20.
I have to say, Sims, one of my favorite game types here, Plaza Slayer. It's totally different from what we just saw on Coliseum. Nooks and crannies throughout the entire map. You can really have a lot of fun with this map. Be creative with your strategies. I just see Buck 20 trying to make some plays here in the hotel. He's going to be able to do that. But I have to say, Sims, I'm not exactly sure how you guys do things in the EU. Tell me, outlines on or off at the start of this match?
Generally, I think it's, I'm going to let you decide your own what you think.
It sounds
best.
like you're avoiding making the decision. So I'll go ahead and I'll take liberty. We'll turn them off for a moment. We'll turn them on whenever we feel they're necessary. But Buck 20, this is what I'm talking about, right? Buck 20 hasn't gone into hotel yet. He went in once to clean up that kill, and he backs out right away, grabs the BR, and he's able to hang out around ramp here. So I like that, the patience we're seeing, the angles that they're playing. Like you said, this is what we expect from Dinos. However, they are here in relegation, so we have to question their strategies a little bit, right?
One thing I've got to mention and point out, I do believe that we did see Flames over there, so I'm going to say he's got Sniper, and I'm going to guess that he is now rotated back around to the cafe. This is why Buck 20 has been an anchor point. He's sitting here, he's calling people out, he's putting shots on. Look, there you go, we got one up there, Flames, go and get him. Jersey 2 goes down, Flames comes in with the SMG. You can see it on the kill feed. This is precision teamwork. This is kind of the Dinosaurs at the start of the Pro League. Can they keep going? Fair enough, it's only a 3-kill lead, but and now Cristola set up with the sniper rifle. He said, Buck 20, okay, I'm going to be over here. You go over there, Mac. Now, fortunately, Septic makes him pay for it as he challenges that one. Great grenade, though, from Vexus, but doesn't even get a hit marker.
Yeah, I was going to say, finally, 57 is able to be taken down there, I think, by Anima, and Vex will be able to stay here at Pipes to stay alive. But look at this. This is a pretty good setup as well as they climb back in this. So right away, their control was answered right back by We Know the Secret. So we have a pretty close game here, 6-9, but we'll go on board with the Jersey 2, who I think found, yes, it's Cristola down low with that sniper.
Yeah, he's just getting some pop shots off, but you know what? His teammate's going to help him out from across in the cafe, put some good shots on him. He has to now back off. Cristola still down bottom, was actually moved up onto ramp there. Not entirely sure how many bullets he had left in that sniper rifle. I'm sure if he's moved up to there on purpose. Oh,
it's a pretty, yeah, it's a good, Cristola actually, they got the trade though. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah.
They did get that trade, so a double kill from Septic will help Blue Team. We Know the Secret gain the lead for the first time, I believe, in this match here. Here we are, 11-10.
Let's see if they can set up for this next sniper. I'm assuming it'll be coming up. I believe it actually got dropped down, so we'll see how they make their way for it and how they set it up, and more importantly, who gets this next OS, because this is quite a tight scoreline. It's very neck and neck, 12-10, only 2 in it. 2 players found down on the loop. Grenade will go in. Excuse me, on the U-bend. Going to jump up to Pipes to see where he moves from here. He's in a bit of a tight spot. He's got 2 players. However, Flames didn't even see him.
I mean, staying alive like this, I'm really impressed here by Septic. We'll go to third person just to show you exactly where his opponents are as he goes to try to make this push. And I believe he's going to be on the flank in just a moment, but actually he's not able to find anyone just yet. So we'll go back to first person. But for that effort, he does get an SMG in hand, so this might give him a really good angle here as he pushes up to sniper, potentially an opportunity to lay down that fire. And yes, indeed, he picks up 1.
Yeah, I was about to say that it was a little bit unlucky that they didn't set up for sniper. There were actually 3 members of the Dinos all set up for that sniper rifle, and all of a sudden, they're all dead. They're all completely wiped out. We saw one jump up with the SMG, down he goes. Unfortunately, we'll see another one falling down on bottom. But I'm not entirely sure who's got the sniper rifle. It would be nice to see if we can have a quick scale through and see if we can grab anybody. Here we go.
Here it is, Anima, yeah.
What a man to do it. We've seen Anima do some dirty things over time with this weapon. They now have a good lead. They've got some good ground presence. We see Jersey 2 going one-on-one in the cafe, just locking down. He gets the double kill as well. He's just cutting off pretty much the entire 25% of the map. They cannot now flank Anna in any way, shape or form. He pokes his head out to make sure no one's down bottom mid. We got Septic just nading out the yard.
And look at this. Really good nades coming in though from Dinosaurs, and looks like Anima is trying to make some bold plays here. He predicts that play from Cristola. I like what we're seeing here, but of course he is pinched a bit. And just as quickly as you said that their setup was pretty rock solid, it looks like Dinos is actually able to push in. But Anima is making sure to watch his own back as well. And he's actually trying to find out exactly where this player might be.
Oh my god.
And look at that, a one-man show there. He's finally taken down, but now over to Jersey 2. But it's a 26-16 game, Sims.
Yeah, 10-kill deficit, a lot to work on at the moment. But we've seen the Bucks come back from worse. I'm sure they can do it again. Jersey 2 going one-on-one with Cristola. Cristola's going to try and bait him out. No doubt the SMG will be on spawn there, so he'll be able to pick that up, shove it in his back pocket, and be ready for Jersey 2 if it comes around the corner. But you mentioned it earlier on, a little bit of patience is what we like to see from players. Don't chase the kills, especially especially when you've got a lead like that. That is a really good lead, and more than anything, it's the pressure that it puts on Dinos, because Dinos, they have to come to them. They don't have to work for it. They just got to let them come and kind of open up the floodgates and say, if you want a bit, boys, come and get it.
And look at that. You still have Anima. I believe he just went in for the close range no-scope using that sniper rifle as a shotgun, which now extends their lead to 32-16. So we went from a 10-kill lead to now doubling their opponent's score. Pretty impressive stuff here as they're able to just continually collapse, and they're doing it again right here against their opponents.
I'm going to say, I think he got a little bit overzealous there. I would like to have, and you mentioned the collapse. They were doing the rotation, so they were following where they were going to spawn as a unit, collapsing down on them and just pinning them in, slaying them constantly over and over again. Cristola now is going to try and grab this snipe area. He's got a teammate with him, but to be honest with you, there's nowhere. There isn't really a setup they can do. They have to try and follow. We know the secret. We know the secret. Again, don't have to do anything. They can literally just sit back, enjoy the ride, and let them come to them and feed them on the kills.
That's it. Look at that. Cristola finds, I believe, an Anima waiting down there. So he's going to have to just slow down, reset, but these two players are still going to find one another. So right now, I think he knows he's in a position that, he can clean up kills from the bottom, but they're going to need to change a lot of things here. They're down by 15, and while you might be able to pick up and scrounge a few kills from bottom middle, ultimately, that is what is going to happen to you, right? You're going to get cleaned up like that, and you're not going to be in a position that is actually going to allow your team to win this game. So now we have 57 picking up a double and starting to actually put some movement here on not only his team's setup, but also the scoreboard. They're still down by quite a bit, but it's tempting to try to win those battles from bottom mid, but you eventually need to cycle up. You need to get top control like this.
You need to be careful of Anima. Look at exactly where Anima is. He's coming on this hard flank, so Sniper's going to get picked up by 57. He's crouched down. I don't see him on the radar. I think he's just going to be hiding down at S1 for quite a while, and then eventually going to show his little face and probably take control of the sniper rifle, which he does. He jumps up. In comes the SMG. Down he goes as well. Decides to whip out a Magnum just to finish the kill. Anima, great play from him. He's flanked around. He was that one lone ranger, and now he's got the sniper rifle, and again on the kill feed, putting more on the map for them. Flames is going to jump up, try and find him. Unfortunately, finds two more, but nice, perfect on Shirty.
I don't know if you wanted to do that. He tries to get away with the ground pound, but unable to turn on that. So we'll go back over to Septic, who's right next to teammate Anima, still with the sniper rifle, 44-23. It's been quite a different game two here, Sims, as they have control still. 20-kill lead here, as it looks like they're going to be able to close this out with ease as long as they keep playing the same game that they've been playing here for the past 7 minutes.
Yeah, complete night and day to game one. I was about to say, how do you like your steak at the moment? It's a little bit chewy. Going one-on-one with Vex. Noob Combo doesn't find his target. Unfortunately, two players will manage to get one player and kind of hunt him out on his own. 47-27. 3 more kills. They're going to put this one in the bag, as you mentioned, with ease.
Yep.
Just going to wait here. I expect him to tee up the ground pound. You see a few players just kind of, they see someone around the corner, they'll preempt it and just wait for the target to land underneath them. One more kill will seal the deal. Let's move on board with Vexus. It doesn't matter. His teammate's going to get in the kill free. That's Anima, 50-27. That is quite a naughty scoreline.
Yes, indeed. Now let's go ahead and actually break down these numbers. You have Septic going 15-5. I think we didn't even really spend enough time on his POV, to be honest. We saw a lot of Anima sniping, who went 13-8 with 10 assists. So definitely hitting a lot of those body shots, as you might expect. But 15-5 from Septic, that's quite a performance. And on the other side, no surprise, you have no one there from Dinosaurs going positive, I believe, significantly negative actually across the board, which of course is indicative by that 50-27 scoreline. So not only is that a pretty crazy game two, but it's also a very different game two what we just saw, right? You saw a 3-1 win in CTF. Dinosaurs able to really close it out, but Plaza Slayer easily went to, we know the secret, but I think even more importantly is that it wasn't a free win. Yeah. They were down by about 6-9 in the beginning, right? So they actually had to climb back, and then they took that 11-10 lead, right? So they got right there 5 unanswered kills, only allowing 1 kill in the beginning. So that spree right there has allowed them to really pull away, and from there they never looked back. As you said, it was a 10-kill lead, became a double their opponent's score, and they kept it right around the 20 mark. So a really good performance there from We Know the Secret.
It's one thing you can kind of see on Plaza. It's very... Because it's not the biggest of maps, it's quite condensed, you can really trap people quite easily. There's no spawn trapping as such, but you can rotate and you can follow them and know exactly. And time again, you would see 2 to 3 people kind of pushing them in the back and kind of funneling them into a gap.
Yeah, and then
one person who sat there, SMG, if you want to bring them in, boys.
And it felt like,
let them go.
Yeah, it felt like they had snipe control the whole game, but even when they didn't have sniper, they had it. So they were just, they were forcing players in Cafe, they were forcing players right around Glass. And it felt like, if you ask me, there was a lot of times when We Know the Secret wasn't necessarily executing perfect collapses, right? It wasn't like all 4 push in, kill them, rotate. What we saw was, I think, just really perfect bait and switching, and Dinosaurs actually, if you ask me, giving up probably a few careless deaths throughout that game that led to, you can't let your opponent, as soon as you go down 11-10, you need to play that game differently. And I think they kind of played the same game for the next 20 or so kills, and the scoreboard showed it. They didn't slow things down as much as they needed to, right? Their flanks towards Sniper weren't as effective as they could have been. I think they had 1 or 2 moments where their flanks worked quite well, but overall, I think Dinosaurs gave up a few careless deaths throughout that game, and it ultimately cost them. And then, of course, big time in the scoreboard.
One thing I have to note is at the start, they looked like they had the ground. They looked like they kind of had the map presence. They were locking down the cafe. As soon as they booted out, We Know the Secret came in, they booted out that one player.
Yep.
They got him out. This is right. This is ours now. And they never looked back. They controlled the cafe pretty much the entire game, and that was GG.
Yep, and Sniper as well, right? We saw a few moments, I think, where Dinos was able to steal Sniper from Anima, but for the most part, I think that led to Anima's 10 assists, I think, were mostly those body shots where his team would push in.
I've got to mention as well, and really note it, the comeback would have been if they could have set up at Sniper when they grabbed it, but unfortunately, that flank from Anima about 9 minutes into the game where he was left untouched. Kind of, I don't want to say a stealth cap, but stealth capping the Sniper. He took down that one player with the SMG, grabbed the Sniper, and that was it.
Yeah.
Completely.
Well executed indeed.
Alright then guys, game number 3, Strongholds on the rig. Remember, tweet the stream, use the hashtag HCS. We're all drawn up 1 game apiece. Who is going to take this initial lead? Let's find out as we jump on to game number 3. We're in with Book 57's POV.
Alright, yeah, and you have to wonder, off the break, what kind of presence is Dinosaurs going to have? Because for me, we saw a really good start from them in game number 1, barring that first few seconds. And in game number 2, we also saw a strong start from them. However, it quickly was taken away from them. So here they are, they're off to an early deficit, a quick nest grab there from We Know the Secret. So I want to see how Buck 57 and the rest of the Dino squad is going to answer back here. I like the patience though, right? They don't need to push out right away. He's waiting for teammates. I like what I'm seeing here. So if they can continue to play this patient, I think they should really be able to close this game out. It's a really good push. Look at that. They triple team that player. Now, as you see, go ahead and take a look. They might actually kill this player as well, but pressure from top mid, of course, is going to help them slow it down just a bit. And they actually don't get nests just yet. Now they do. So here you go, finally on the board. For me, Sims, that's pretty good discipline. That's pretty good patience to answer back in that fashion.
I mean, it's always, we say this time and time again, the nest on this game type wins you this game type. It's super imperative. You can control a basement, you can control a yard, but if you don't have the nest, it's GG, unfortunately, which they now do have nest control, and more importantly, they have the railguns. It's whether or not they can keep players out of there. Cristola's going to try and bank a few nades off the back. He might even be able to try and bank, if he really wants to have a go for it, a rail shot off the back wall as well. He's going to just clip Shirzi 2, and then he'll clean him up with that Magnum, which is fantastic work. Still no one's gone in, so they can get the reset on the nest. Can he take down Septip? Yes, he can. He's going to dive bomb over here. 2 of them will get the reset, but they need to watch the basement. Anima's in there again, left unchecked, and you don't want a wild Anima running wild on the pitch.
But I think they're going to get the stop. Yes, they do. That's a great play as well. What I like to see about Cristola there is he flies off of Nest immediately, right? When he saw that his teammate was able to get that reset on Nest, he flies off of Nest, thrusts through the gap, gets back there, gets the reset just in time, and they're going to maintain control.
Personally, I'd like to see them push the triple cap, and this is exactly what they're doing. The bleed's there. Why let it stop? He didn't actually get the reset as well. He's going to jump out. That's good because he's got no shields. He obviously knows Camo's going to be coming up any second as well, and he has scatter shots. So in theory, he could play quite passive down here on the kind of in the pipes area in the bottom mid. If he just waits for that Camo to come up, they could grab that. But again, he's got the right tool to take it down. He's going to check basement, make sure nobody's there. He's going to jump back up onto pipes and have a look down the long hall. No one's there either. He just needs to wait for some call-outs, which he does. We're seeing Anima coming out down Whitehall. Coming off he's going to challenge that, and that's the kind of thing we see from Septic a lot. He will try and challenge. Anima's coming in as well and says, if you want a piece of this, let's go.
I like what I see from Cristola there, right? Very delicately dancing around. He eventually gets killed, but apologies there. What I like to see there is like using that thrust to pop back into tower and maintain that presence. Stay in there, force the enemy to actually clear you out. But just as we're talking about all that, Sims, we now have a pretty close game here. We got Vex with Camo Rail, and now triple control as they're tied, but they soon will not be, as we're going to see We Know the Secret start a rally here.
And what is worrying, Andy, is just until that point, that was like 5 seconds near enough of triple cap without anyone even attempting to take a bit. I'd like to see him challenge this, which his teammate does. That's going to be, I think, possibly Septic on the back. So he's going to challenge that. They're actually going to stop it. He gets the reset as well. Jeez. That is huge because triple cap is still uncontrolled and uncontested. No one's even going for it. Finally, we have one coming in. Anima comes around the back. They're going to take that down as well. They won't actually get the reset. I'd like to see Anima get the reset in the basement. He's going to get a double kill in the kill feed, so that's huge as well. does go down. Still no reset, and he does stay on the map.
Yeah, well done, teeing up that ground pound to stall that stabilize. But look at this, still triple control. They just went from 24 to 24 to 52 to 24. My gosh, as we switch over here to the Dinos side, and they're desperately trying to get control back. But like you said, they were failed at least 3 reset attempts there, and they are bleeding out. 56 to 24 is the score, and what a fast turn we just saw.
They need to get that nest, and they need to get white hole control. If they don't get them, they're in all kinds of trouble. They've got basement. They can leave basement alone if they really want to. I'd like to see them focus on that nest area. Still no one's going for it. Septi's going to come around one shot. They're going to clean that up. Now they're going to force into the basement. But if no one's got to watch on the stairs, which his teammate will do, triple cap again. This is not good. They're going to get basement, but they are getting nest.
Yeah, I know what I have to say is that camel rail play by Vex, right? He didn't necessarily pick up all the kills that he tried to. However, he picked up several crucial ones and stayed alive for so long. And, when you are on the verge of losing control of all bases and you have a player with camo railgun who's fighting against you, you have to, it's so difficult to push out of that situation. You saw they're spraying with the AR, right? They're chucking grenades towards SMG. They're desperately trying to take him down. And look at this, Flame's actually doing some acrobatics of his own, but he will eventually fall as well. Now, Buck 57 does get a perfect kill against Anima, so that will allow them to start at least capturing basement. But my goodness, Septic on the other side and crew, they are doing so well. So we'll go back over to their side now. Spend some time with Jersey too, because there might not be that much time in this game left.
No, that was another good 5 to 10 seconds worth of triple cap, and once you get that triple cap, the points start to escalate very, very quickly. Buck 20 is going to grab himself a double kill in the kill feed. Hail Mary from Jersey 2 as well. Wangs run on the stairs and picks it up. Goes for the splinter as well. Doesn't get any hit marks on that. If he can stop this, even just jumping in just to get a little bit of a tag up.
I love what he's doing though, right? But he's at least staying alive here, establishing a presence. He'll finally be taken down there. You see his he will drop, but now over to Septic. Looks like Red Team Dinosaurs going to be scoring once again, but what are you seeing, Sim?
So we're actually seeing they're now pushing the triple cap again. This could be a complete reverse triple unless Anima can do something, which it is. That's a reverse triple, so now they've turned the tail on its head. They're going to get some points, but it's going to be very... Oh, I almost said it was short-lived because...
That's not... Oh, it looks like that stick actually did not. It bounced off of Vex. I could have sworn he stuck his teammate there, but he's going to actually get a get-out-of-jail-free card, as it looks like it just fell off the feet there. He'll take a little bit of damage, but of course will not betray his teammates. So the score line a little bit closer, however, still pretty long road here for Dinosaurs to rally back. It's 82 to 48.
Okay, so we've got someone coming on a little count. We got Flames diving straight into White. He's going to get called out. Animal will go down. His teammate Cristola will come in to seal that one off. Railgun's coming off of the spawn in 10. Septi's going to choose to use the outer pipe work just to get away from that kill. Nice little footwork there. And now Flames is setting up, but he knows Flames is there. So I want to see a little one-on-one battle here. They're going to go. He dives in straight away with the AR. He'll say, no, not today, sunshine. That railgun is mine. I tagged it first. We'll see Buck 20. Decides to not shoot it, but gets it a second time round. Cristola's going to come round. He'll clean up that one, grab himself the railgun, and now they can get some good presence. They can move forward with that. I'd like to see Cristola try and jump up just to defend Nest because Anima's in there once again. They keep leaving Anima to do whatever he wants, and when you do that, he will take full advantage. Give him a meter, he will take a mile every time.
That's it. The case indeed here, but it looks like Buck 20 off the spawn. He's on the receiving end of Scherzy's railgun there. So now we'll go over to Anima, who is still hanging out around basement, and really what he's doing is just making sure that no one it looks like he's spotting all these players spawning. As you see, we can see them there, but he also saw them too, so he's going to make quick work. But actually, I stand corrected there because Buck 20 has some fine shots there. He's able to take him down. So now over to Cristola, who's actually on the death screen, so we'll stay on board with him as he's coming up now as well. But Buck 20 gets taken down. So now over to Vex, who's got the the scatter shot and camo combo. 99 triple control here, and look at this. We know the secret answers back here in this series, now up 100 to 62. Sims, let's take a look at the stats.
Take a look at the kills indeed. Anima been left unchecked, do what he wants. 19 kills, that is huge, and you can see the little gold arrow, so it's only getting better, but look at the captures. He was just pinging back and forth. Basement nest.
Right, that is a game. You lead your team in captures, and you not only lead your team, but also the game in kills as well, having 5 more kills than his closest teammate and having 9 more than any of his opponents. So quite a game from Anima. I think a few years ago you were telling me that Anima really was a player to watch.
I think without question, a lot of people would say back in Halo 4, Anima was by far the best player in Europe by a mile. He was just unstoppable, and that's the kind of... It's because of how much, not only of aggressiveness that he does, but we've seen it in 2 games now. His map movement. He's got this third sense where if he knows an area is clear, he'll happily flank it. He gets really good communication. I've played with him plenty of times, and he does nothing but talk. And it's not the shouting out, calling, he's one shot, he's dead, it's here. It's all the small talks like, I'm going to go here, where are they? And he's a super, super good communicator. And kind of, you saw it again then, you've seen it in previous games. He just wanders around aimlessly, and no one seems to know where he is.
Yeah, and I mean, it's rare, I think, that you get a young gun like Anima, right? I believe he's one of the youngest players that we see here in Europe doing well. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. I mean, I remember, at least he was young a few years ago.
Yeah, he's definitely
still young. But it's rare that you find a player like that who's up and coming, who's a younger player, who has that conversational communication, right? Like you said, they're not just calling out, but instead they actually have a very mature level of communication, which is really fantastic to see, and it's paid off for them here as they lead this series 2-1. So despite a pretty strong start from Dinosaurs in game number 1, if you're just joining us, Dinosaurs able to close out a 3-1 CTF Coliseum win. However, in games 2 and 3, it was all about We Know the Secret. Here's the series so far. We Know the Secret with a dominating Plaza Slayer win, 50-27, pulling off the steak dinner, and then We Know the Secret once again, 100-62 on the rig. In that match, that scoreline actually tells it a little bit closer than it actually was, because there was a time when I believe it was 82 still to 24. But now we're going to shift gears. We're going to go to Fathom Capture the Flag. So it's once again a very fast-paced CTF, and if I had to put a bet on it, I think we saw Dinosaurs has the patience to play Capture the Flag really well. Slayer and Strongholds are games that you have to play a little bit differently, but if Dinosaurs can put up the same performance that they did in game number 1, they should take Fathom CTF easily. However, We Know the Secret, of course, with momentum on their side.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to constantly talk about one player, because at the end of the day, there's 8 players on this map and there's 2 teams, but it's hard to kind of get away from what Anima is doing and the kind of power that he brings to a team. We've seen it now in 2 games, and especially that last one. And again, if I was in the Dinosaurs, I mean, you'll be able to tell me, you've coached many a team back in your time, Andy. Going into this, me personally, I'd be saying, shut down Anima. Do not let him get top mid. Do not let him get railgun. Otherwise, he's going to run a train. Yeah,
I mean, at the same time, I think Dinosaurs, I would hope that they're at a level where they know that if they just play their game, that will come naturally, right? You have to be careful, because if you do strive to shut a specific player down, it can open you up to new openings in your setup, right? If you're gunning for a specific player, there are chances that things will fall through the cracks. So that said, I think what they need to do is really just play their game. We know they're capable of it. We've seen them do it in years past, first few weeks of Pro League as well. Here on Fathom CTF, you have to know that they need to just control their trees, right? They need to get the weapons and power-ups and control top mid during those runs. We didn't see them rush flag runs on Coliseum. And it's even more important in Fathom. You cannot rush those flag runs. Do not force something through the bottom mid that you can't, right? Don't try to bring it home from tree. I think we need to see the Dinosaurs CTF style of play. Slow, methodical. Maybe your flag runner's going tree to top mid, right, to take different routes. Really slow things down and play this wise, because the second you start to maybe force a situation that you shouldn't, and you allow We Know the Secret to get a man advantage, we now have seen that they take advantage of that. So if you're Dinosaurs, to answer your initial question, you need to play your game. You need to focus on controlling the map and the weapons. What should come with that is naturally shutting down enemies.
Yeah, I think when you look at the 2 scenarios, Dinos will be the kind of people that will run in. They will make sure that they've got both the gen and, of course, the VAT blocked off the spawn. Then they'll run the flag, they'll get it, they'll have someone set up at top mid. They're a very, you called it perfectly, methodical, slow, but very, very ready and very aware team. Whereas on the opposing side, you've kind of got this super aggressive, and they really are, and it showed in the Slayer and the Strongholds map, super aggressive team that will happily just dive bomb in, grab it, slay, and pull. Now, it's whether or not in doing that, the spawns don't go their way on the side of Dinos. Dinos come off of a really good spawn, smack them as they're running the flag, and then get the counter cap. These are the 2 different things. You've got a super hyper-aggressive team versus not a passive, but certainly a more methodical roster.
Oh, certainly. And the one thing that We Know the Secret needs to do is make sure that when they're running those flags, if they can just catch Dinosaurs a second too slow, right? If Dinosaurs is not defending an area at just the right time, they'll be able to get away with those sneaky flag grabs. However, I mean, the one thing that they also need to worry about is the fact that Dinosaurs is going to be really strong off those spawns, right? They're going to make the right plays that they need to at any given moment. So we're going to have to see how this plays out. Still anyone's series, anyone's game here. We're starting things off with Flames of Dinosaurs.
Let's see what the big Welshman can do. Grenade goes in, looking for some hit markers on that. He won't get anywhere, and then we can see the light rifle being used to full effect, putting some great shots. Going to be Anima firing it through bottom mid to keep anybody off that camo. Not entirely sure if anyone has grabbed it. Flames will go up. Then puts a bullet inside Anima's face. We'll then see Bex both with the railgun and camo, so a big start for him. And the team as a whole is going to use the sneaky jump.
Yeah, well executed sneaky there. You don't see players use it in reverse like that every time, but I have to say that's definitely the easier way to do it. And I should do that jump more that way rather than the way that I try to do every time and fail miserably. But now we're over to Septic.
And of course, it's kind of having the confidence and key knowledge to be able to pull it off first time, because if you don't, you're dropping back down into the pit and you're kind of an open target. Unfortunately, it doesn't kind of pan out as he goes up top, and he will get a light rifle to the dome. Catches Flames now as we are on board with Septic. Grenade goes in. Flames come round, trying to fire a railgun back of himself. Had been taken down initially, but the flag's on the move in the opposing treehouse. And you know what? We've got red set up completely as 3 players are going to be pushing into the base to either stop this one or make a pull of their own.
Yeah, you see they do toss it out front, which I think is wise at this point. They don't have enough of an advantage or really knowledge about the whereabouts of their opponents to do anything else, but now they actually start that run. So going to go third person to show you exactly where both of these flags are, and you actually have a little bit of a flag battle there as you see Buck20 top mid still trying to stay alive with that flag. But look at Septic, he's able to stay alive as well, and now maybe get a second flag grab, or maybe even kill Cristola. And look at that, a heads-up play there from Septic, but he or a teammate is going to need to get a touch on that. I don't think they're going to be able to get it, right? Oh, it looks like not just yet, so that flag is still down. We're going to stay.
Huge kill from 20.
Yes, indeed, and now that flag is on the other side. So now as we take a look at Cristola, he's escorting that flag in, and it looks like I believe they're going to be able to pull it in. Yes, indeed. Dinosaurs goes up 1-0, so that's what we've been talking about, Sims, right? They played that well, they played it slow, and then here they are 1-0. And that's what I mean. Dinosaurs, they went for the... I'm a big fan of bringing that flag top middle, right? You can bring it top middle, you can get vantage point, but the biggest thing that you get is support for your players all around the map, and secondly, you also get really good options, right? You can bail to any direction. You can go to either treehouse. You can go straight to your pit. You can even drop bottom middle. There's a lot of things you can do as a flag carrier top mid, and I'm glad to see Dinosaurs using that effectively.
And the most important thing that I want to mention there is that when he went to go get that flag to kill that last player, it wasn't actually, it wasn't 57 who was going for the flag to get the kill. It was 20 from up top mid, still with that flag in hand, just waiting there, having each treehouse blocked off so no one could touch it. He stayed there with flag the entire time. And when we look at something like Halo heat maps, we know most of the deaths come between those areas, and that's where the shots come from. And he didn't. He stayed alive. His team helped him in staying alive, and all of a sudden the flag went in. We are going to move to a different POV now. We'll go with Cristola. He's going to be aggressive in this flag. He's got some support as well. Nobody watched the VAT or Gen spawn, so we're going to see Jersey 2 poking inside the Gen there. Grenades are going to be thick and fast from his teammates, though, to help him out. So both of them are one-shots there to be cleaned up. But honestly, I think that's a dead flag.
Yeah, look at that. You see there's 3 players down there. Cristola had the right idea, right? He was able to push in, but looks like the flag is away, so Septic is going to need to calm down for just a second. But actually, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he did get that stop. So that flag is actually just going to reset in the back of his base. Yes, indeed. But that was, I think, Cristola, if you ask me, he went in the base a second too early, right? He didn't know there was a player on the porch. He knew there was a player in the back of the base. However, if he had maybe pushed in 2 seconds later and waited for help, we could have seen the exact timing that they needed. So that's what you talked about during the pregame, Sims, of them being so aggressive, and sometimes it's to their detriment. I mean, more often than not in this series, we've seen them pull it off, though.
So that's a big kill from Vex. He grabs a double inside their base. Now he's going to pull the flag. However, no one's anywhere near to help him, give him some support. He's getting pushed aggressively now. Buck20 will take him down, clear him out of the base. They're going to push on forward, but unfortunately, Vexu's going to run into 3 of them. The flag, he does get it off just in time. Now, Anima, if he can get that kill, that would be huge. No, he's not, because someone's in the treehouse, and that's kind of what we mentioned, Andy, about positive and really good organized flag runs rather than just a run-and-gun grab situation.
Yep, somehow Cristola manages to dodge all those grenades, which I have to say is a heads-up play. It's also going to lead to Flames getting that rail. But look at this. I'm not sure about Anima switching targets there so quickly. Of course, he's going to get double teamed. But you know what we just saw was some really good play there from Cristola. He's able to get that bottom mid return, and it's going to now allow them to get top mid as well. So once again, Dinosaurs looking strong as they're playing the game they need to, and they might even get a second flag run here. And this could be dangerous if they pull it off, as well as a camo grab.
Big camo grab. He kills Septic, and he's going to punch that one in his chest to grab that. So that puts the railgun and camo in the hands now of the Dinos. Whether they can do anything with it is a different story. There's 7:20 on the clock. Obviously, plenty of time for both teams to make some more flag caps. Looking at the porch now, no one's kind of pushing out. This is where things get a little bit dangerous, because fair enough, you won't be able to get a flag grab, but they're all kind of locked into their base and generally not really doing much.
Right here, he's crouching just to be extra safe here. Doesn't need to be at this very moment, but he's making sure that he's even smaller of a target. But look at this, I have to say, once again, they're playing this slowly. He's going to pop in and get a few kills, but I don't think he knows there's actually 2 opponents within the base still. So he's going to have to put a pretty strong, I was just about to say a one-man show, if he can clean up this as well. No, but he runs out of ammo. I have to say, he might have done it if he had a single shot left in that battle rifle.
He was confident and he wanted a piece, puts down a splinter, and we'll see Cristola will challenge it. Unfortunately, there's no shields, but again, Anima's not even looking at this corner.
Gosh, I believe he got that kill purely because I think we saw a player, I think it was actually Anima jumping through his burst, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, that was some reminiscent of when you just spray into Pink 2 and Halo 2 with the BR and you get a double kill because 2 people happen to run by your battle rifle, as he's able to do very much a similar feat. But we're starting to see some good stuff from the Secret here. They're still down 0-1, but there's 6 minutes left, and if they keep this pressure up, they might be able to start to put some runs on the board, but we haven't seen a real run from them yet.
We'll see if we can make something happen because he's got support, and no, we cannot. We're going to see 20 come in with a perfect. Domes him in the back of the skull. Cristola's going to be aggressive and thrust forward into a player. Flames will sit him on his backside. Vex is going to get called out as well. 2 shots are going to be, so Buck20 knows where he is, and we just see Anima pokes in, fires a gun, gets a kill, thrusts back out. The kind of casual and normal plays we see from him, to be honest with you. But Vex is caught off guard. He's been in between a rock and a hard place. But you know what? He says no. He's Magnum stronger than the BR. Vex will, of course, indeed ground pound to get out of the way of oncoming fire. And once again, he's still alive. Now they have the top middle control. Nice little cheeky nade on there on 57. That's going to bounce off and crack him in the face.
Wow.
But 57's going to say, I'm challenging this one. I want that. Doesn't kind of turn out his way. Vex should be calling that out to his teammates unless he's going to jump up and get it himself, which he will do. But Cristola there with the trigger discipline shuts him down, gives him one to the chest as he punches that one in as well. So that's going to be the camo burn. Cristola goes down as well, and now we will see this railgun transfer into the hands of We Know the Secret. Surgy2 with a double kill. Can they make something happen? They're kind of rallying back in defense, to be honest with you, and I want to see more aggressive. I'd prefer them to push forward rather than run back to their own flag. Move forward, get stuck in. 5 minutes on the clock. 1 flag cap only, and it's in the hands of the Dinos.
Yes, indeed. Now going to third for a second there, as it looks like he's going to be able to pick up that kill. See that kills a player front base there, and might even get this kill as well, but I think he's getting some pressure from the other side. Yes, that's going to be the tree. So now we'll go over to 57, who had a pretty good push up the top mid with his squad. And like you had said, Sims, I think we needed to see a little bit more forward aggression from the We Know the Secret side, and we haven't seen it just yet. And it looks like if this continues for the next 4.5 minutes, Dinos could squeak out a 1-0 win here in this game and tie up the series. I mean, that is certainly possible, but just as quickly as I say that, they start to... Yeah.
He literally just crouches out of the way and lets his teammate run it, and this is what I mentioned about the teamwork of these two players and this team as a whole, the 4 players. They're very methodical, they're always supporting one another. He just needs to kind of throw that on this side. He does have someone down in the tree to take this one down. This could be 2-0 in any second.
Yeah, and they do get the reset. That's what I was waiting for, and it looks like they're going to be able to bring this in. Not just yet, so they're going to have to see if Cristola can get this easy touch, and yes, indeed, they go up 2-0, and they might even stop the counter here. There are 2 red X's on his screen. However, he's playing this very well, just staying alive in his base, and we will see 2-0 as the scoreline, 3.5 left, so it's going to be even more difficult for the gentleman on We Know the Secret to rally back. But over to Septic, who's next to Shurzy in the tree, and also next to Vex, so they are quite tight here in their setup as they're going to try to push out and make something happen. If they want to do it, they're going to need to do it quick, right? 3.5 is not a lot for 2 caps on Fathom. Certainly possible, but it would require near perfect execution.
What exactly are you seeing go wrong for them here, Andy? Why are the Dinos necessarily more, I definitely put the slaying power and the overall gun skill of We Know the Secret above the Dinosaurs, but that's really not showing right now.
Oh, I thought and he did. I know. It looks like, I'm not sure exactly what happened on that ninja there, but to answer your question, Sims, I think what we're seeing is Dinos keeping 1 player alive every time, or if you want to look at it on the other side of the argument, you could say that you actually have We Know the Secret pushing in for flags a second too quick, and they're just even a few seconds difference in a flag push, in pushing into a doorway in a base can be the big difference maker if you're going to get those flag runs or not. 57 with some good AR work. Vex unable to finish throughout that entire battle, and it looks like Scherzi is going to get some help from a teammate to clean up that kill. But what we're seeing, I think, is we know the secret. They're just a second off. Whether they're a second too early or they're a second too late, it's not easy because Dinos has the perfect... You see that nade go up through the tree and out the window. I don't think that's what they had intended as he's taken down, but now over to Buck20. But I have to say, Dinosaurs feels like they have one player remaining each time who's able to stop the flag run, and that's led them to this 2-0 lead.
So we're going to see Buck20 will want that flag. It gets called out. He almost got it through the gap. He's going to jump up here, try and grab it, which he does. Buck20 is going to pull it through the wall. I want to see him dive off here, but he knows he's got oncoming fire from Anima. I wouldn't have poked out personally. I'd like to just seen him hide behind that wall and then be able to drop down.
And look at it. Look at Anima. He might be able to pull off both of these. He might be able to fill up third as well. Finally, help comes there from his teammate, and Vex is going to be the one that pulls away with the rail. A minute and a half left. Both flags are back at home, so now it's all about, we know the secret, getting control and very quick. I mean, it'd be almost impossible with the way Dinosaurs is playing for them to pull off 2 caps right now to tie the game and force OT.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard one. 130, there's not a lot of time to play with, and Buck20's got top mid control, and this is the kind of area that you need to lock down. We know this is where most of the action happens. You control this, you can just force them back and keep them in their base, and honestly, this is what we've seen throughout this game. We've not really seen any forward advances, and when we do, it's just kind of messy.
Yeah, and also, I mean, look at this control still from Buck20 top middle. He cannot be shaken from this position, right? I think he sees Vex spawning there in the corner, but he's just going to stay alive now with Camo as well. They're going to actually even keep tossing flags out, which is exactly what you want to do with 1 minute left. Keep that pressure on. Do not let the enemy team forward advance. And he meets a railgun, which might cause detriment, but no. Vex actually does not get the full rail, so that's going to lead here. Buck20 has rail. He's got camo. 49 seconds on the clock. They might even pull this third flag in as we'll go third person for just a second. And yes, that is going to be it. Victory 3-0 once again. So what we're seeing is Dinosaurs exerting the same dominance nearly, right, that we saw in game number 1. Let's take a look at the kills, which actually aren't too different as you make your way down the scoreboard in that kills category until we get to the bottom.
What do we say? 57. When this man turns up, everything for this team goes right. We talk about in Pro League, we're talking about it today. 23 kills, top of the leaderboard, 2 flag returns as well, and of course the amount of time we saw him doing the fancy footwork with the flag. 1 capture across the board for the top 3. Buck20 without 1, but you know what, still 20 kills. 23, 21, 21, and 20. That's a big...
That's not too different from what we saw in Coliseum, right? They had almost the same amount of kills, which tells you they're really all on the same page. They're all making the same amount of effort and work and finishing those kills. They're moving as a unit. Before we get off the stats, I also have to talk about Cristola's 4 returns, because several times we saw him crouching bottom middle, making bold plays to get those flags back, occasionally winning battles from bottom mid to top mid to force those returns. So great plays from him as well. Not only 21 kills, but also getting 4 big returns.
23 and 20 across the board on the opposing side. Unfortunately, Septic with only 10 kills, not the especially when it's such a long game as well.
Sure, yeah.
I would have expected even just naturally more than 10 kills. You know, we almost went the full 12 minutes at the end of the day, but didn't quite work out for them, and now we're all drawn up to a piece.
We are indeed. So, I mean, this series looked very different only 12 minutes ago. 2-1, of course, it was in favor of We Know the Secret. However, Dinosaurs answering back there. So, our next game type is actually going to be Slayer on the rig, which, if you think about how the rig was played by We Know the Secret, Dinosaurs has to be worried. They're going to want to slow that game down quite a bit. We thank you so much for joining us here live from the UK at the EU Finals. We're in relegation Saturday here, finding out which teams will advance and be promoted or relegated into the fall season. Make sure you let us know what you think about these matches so far and predict which teams will be advancing on. Will we see the French squads dominate, or will we see them fall to these UK squads? But I have to say, the Slayer rig is going to be quite an intense game. If it plays anything like what we saw Stronghold on the rig, we should see a We Know the Secret easy win. However, we're all netted up 2-2 here in the series.
I can see a Game 7 at this rate, to be honest with you, because these two teams are so evenly matched. And I mean, if they keep playing, if Dinos play like they did in the last one, and just 57 keeps on top of his game and everyone else follows, the team's just up, they're lifted, let's work it, let's do it time and time again. We've seen 57 on that team being the game changer. It's either the loss or the win, and if he plays like he did in that last one, I can be seeing a win. And at the moment, as Andy says, we're all drawn up. Welcome along. It's a fun ride, guys, and we could be seeing this one out all the way to game number 7. The first team to capture 4 on the board will, of course, be the winner. And neither of these teams want to drop down to losers first. You know, you want to be steamboating to those finals to play whoever the winner of NTSC and Pulse Gaming.
Especially because I think right, those two French squads you and I have talked about, right, both really talented rosters, and you don't even want to face the loser of that first match, right? It's much more comfortable cruising through the winners bracket here in relegation. Of course, a double elimination best of 7 tournament all the way through.
Just to note as well, how worrying would it be if Dinosaurs lose this and they actually picked they picked this initial opponent?
Right.
You've just lost to the team that you thought was the worser of the two, and that's only scary to say how scary NTSC is.
Sure, right. And then also, if Dinosaurs to lose this, not only do they lose against the team they selected, but then they either play a pro league team or they play the team that they didn't want to play. Right. So those are their two options as we get into this losers bracket. But let's take a look at the series so far. You see Dinosaurs bookending the series so far, a 3-1 Coliseum win and also a 3-0 capture the flag win. If you only look at those score lines alone, you think they're doing pretty well. However, those middle two matches told a very different story. We know the Secret winning both of those games quite easily, and you have to wonder, heading into Slayer the Rig, are we going to see Dinosaurs fall off the map in terms of momentum again, or will they use that game number 4 really as a booster to get them ready to play the Rig, even though they just saw a pretty handy defeat in game number 3.
And then moving into Plaza Strongholds after that, it will really give a big boost of confidence. Obviously, no more flag games during this series. They're over and done with. So if they're a fan of flag, the Dinos, unfortunately, they won't get another second chance to play them again. But I personally would say that this definitely favours, we know the Secret. Yeah. However, we have to have all players on the roster turn up, because in a game like this, Septic, with the 10 kills in the previous round, you simply cannot be doing it. It's not just games about how many kills you get, it's all about how many deaths you give away. And this is where you get a pro team like the Dinosaurs that should be more focused, they should be more manageable, they should be, okay, we know how to play this, we know what we're doing it time and time again, guys. Let's be a little bit wary of what's going on. But the aggression, the raw slaying power and aggression so far coming out of We Know the Secret, it's definitely putting the pressure on Dinos, and I didn't expect us to be going into a game 5 all drawn up like this.
Yes, indeed. We're getting ready to get into Slayer on the Rig right now, and one thing I'm going to be watching for, so we'll start off with Flames here in this match, Sims, is who's going to control that camo, who's going to control the weapons, right? We saw camo being such a factor in that Rig Strongholds game, and it's really no surprise. We saw also Flames was able to stay alive in pretty crafty ways with it in the last game, and might even be able to get away with it here. Yes, indeed, as I don't want to speak too soon, gets a distraction medal, and look at that. I mean, that's discipline, that's effort, right? He does a full ring around the Rosie to stay alive with that camo. Now he has camo SMG. It's going to make this push easy. I love what we're seeing from Flames here on the opening. He also gets sniper. He has everything he needs in his hands.
And now this is where things get interesting, because he can just sit in bunker. He decides to move up along the corridor, along the wall. He's going to jump up into the attic, see if he can get any picks off this. But I like the fact that they've all just transitioned to back rail. They can all now just sit here and wait for the team just to come to them. They're 5-2 up. They've got a lead. They've got sniper. They've got camo. They've got all the goodies. I'll be interested to see who has the scatter shot as well. We've got Alex over on the rail side, and we've got the other two on the opposing side, just down on the corridor. So it's kind of all lined up now for them just to funnel them into Flames. Flames to find some faces, but again...
And he needs to start, because now it's 5-5. His camo has worn off, so despite the fact, and he looks away just too soon there to try to clip that, but now they're going to be getting pushed on. They're spawning in car corner, and they really need to play this very wisely. I like the angles that he's using, and it feels like he puts the sniper away 1 second too early each time on those past few engagements, but the snapshot to make up for it as they maintain this 7-5 lead. So they answered back there quite well. I was worried for a split second, but Flames making sure to still use the sniper wisely. He's going to rotate to Nest, which is a good angle, of course, as his team also starts to flank around. So good movement here.
But look at this collapse. They're just moving towards the bunker because they know where they all are. Flames is going to... I wouldn't surprise me if he traded this out for an SMG just so he can be that little bit more aggressive and one-on-one.
Yeah.
And finally, we now have... I think that's going to be Shurs. It's actually going to be possibly Shurzy. He's just going to challenge this one. Come inside. He wants the final kill.
Pre-firing the corner without really any regard for where they might be coming over. And I think that was Shurzy who just actually jumped over the pre-fire of the SMG. So, his Flame's still waiting for those shields to recharge. He's going to retreat to safety wisely before doing so, and just misses a headshot there on Anima. But it's still 10-8. So, despite the fact that we've seen Dinosaurs with map control, We've seen them with sniper control. It hasn't really paid off just yet, but let's go ahead and, just as I say, we'll switch over to all 3, maybe all 4. Shurzy, the last player alive here, and he has actually no ammo, so it's not looking good for what we just saw on We Know the Secret, as he's going to finally get a BR in hand, but it's still such a close game. So you saw 4 players die. Shurzy has no ammo, however, they're still only down by 3.
Yeah, it's a very close game. We are 9:30 on the clock. Anything can still happen. We're going to see one person sliding in below him. 2 people will go into the corridor. You'll find him half shields. Well, you just heard it, but Buck 57's got a scar, but it doesn't matter. He'll clean it up. You heard the head pop there. 20, his brother's just watching. He's just back, kind of bopping around and bunny hopping. He'll shut him down instantly as he jumps up.
I don't think Shurzy needed to challenge at that second. He had a teammate coming around the corner. He can play that just a little bit slower. So, that kind of lack of discipline or communication, whichever you want to blame it on, it could cost them, because now they're down 3 kills down, and that could have been much closer if he had stayed alive here over on tower stairs. But look, that's the combat evolved metal, I suppose, blasted that down. Now, as it's going to be 13-17 is the score. But what I want to see here is, that's actually what I want to see. Picks off just the top of the noggin of Buck 20. But I want to see if we can see We Know the Secret play a better, make better usage of the sniper rifle. Play this more wisely, because it's now 15-17, and to be honest, we didn't see Dinosaurs do all that much with it.
The patience of Cristillo, though, over on the Batman ledge, he's literally just sat there, and same for Buck 20 as well. He's literally just hanging on these ledges and waiting for them to come to him, because that's what they need to do at the end of the day. They've got the lead. They don't have to be overly aggressive. We're going to see 57 possibly challenge this one. He's now going to... decides to come in. Then all of a sudden, that's the call. So Flames gets the call. He's over in Tower 2. Go dive bomb him, which he does indeed. We're now going to see Shurzy trapped in the bunker. I was hoping for a triple.
I was glad. I was a lucky switch on my part. I guess that 57 might be teeing something up, and he does get that double, but eventually he will fall. So we'll go over to the other side, back to Vex here, rocking, of course, that Optic Gaming assault rifle as he pushes in. Also the Optic Gaming AR, so a bit of an Optic fan here, perhaps, from Vex, and looks like he won't be able to get the kill from the grave. So now over to Shurzy 2, sniper rifle and scatter shot in hand, killing spree, tied game. Here we are, and this is what I'm talking about, Sims. We haven't seen a team start to pull away yet, right? And when I see Dinosaurs with map control and weapon control, yet they can't get more than a 3-kill lead, that worries me, right? And now we see on the other side, We Know the Secret tying the game up because they're capitalizing just a bit more. So Dinosaurs needs to change the way they're playing here. They're playing this a little bit. Look at this, my gosh, Top Gun, also the first player to get 10 kills in the match. But if you're Dinosaurs, you need to change something up, because you've had control several times. However, now you're only up by 1 kill in the game, now and tied.
Grenades coming in thick and fast. He's just trying to stay alive. Finds Flames his skull, puts a 1 in between his eyes. Down he goes, 25-24. This is neck and neck. 7 minutes remaining on the clock. Still everything to play for. Scar shot in hand, so he can push up and afford to be aggressive in Tower 2, because he can go 1-to-1 with anybody who's going to be around this corner and just turn them into a pile of leaves. He's going to go down by the pipes. Just check them as well. But all of a sudden, still more kills are coming in on the left-hand side. It's neck and neck. Alex just going to line up with his scope. Unfortunately, doesn't hit it. It just grabs him one in the neck.
Yeah, that's a kill. You need to try to connect with the head if you can, because rarely do you have a player, who is able to connect there. Unless you have a player who's all the way either at nest or who maybe is top middle, that kill is not going to be an easy cleanup unless you have more of an imposing setup there. But look at the scoreline, 29-25. This is what I was talking about. Dinosaurs was not playing like a winning team, right? They're playing with a team that's just trying to stay neck and neck and hold on to their 1-to-2 kill lead. Instead, what we're now seeing on the other side is a team that wants to pull away, a team that wants to take advantage of their mistakes that their opponents make. So now they have this 3-kill lead. Make it a 4-kill lead here for We Know the Secret. So personally, I think we're seeing much better things from We Know the Secret here in the second half of the game than we saw from Dinos, who had control for the good bit of the first half.
And look at this, 2 players just locking down this sniper rifle so they can grab that.
Oh,
it was straight up. I say that was a thick and fast respawn off a bunker with a nades. They all just came in, dive bombed him, down he went. Interesting to see who grabs that sniper rifle because of how crucial it is right now. 5:50 on the clock, and this is the kind of the time where they can pull away with it. Vexus has both the sniper and the scatter shot in hand. He's going to turn base. Flames says, I'm challenging this one. You know what? He reaps the rewards. Yeah. He's got both weapons in his hand, but now he needs to get with his teammates. You don't want to walk out on his own.
I'm surprised Vex didn't check his right. All he needed to do was check his right, because all Flames did was crouch around the corner on the stairs and wait for him to make the mistake of blindly sprinting past. And Flames, like you said, reaps the rewards, but he's taken down here. Look at the score. There's not much time on the clock. Shurzy 2, once again, Plasma Caster and Camo. 5-kill lead here with 5 minutes left. So we still see We Know the Secret in a pretty good position. As long as they don't really screw this up, they'll be able to pull it off. However, Dinos needs to, once again, they need to slow the game down. They also need to figure out exactly where this Camo player is.
Yeah, and he could quite easily just get the assassination on there.
That's all you need
in the butt of the head with the gun. quite interested to see where the sniper rifle's gone. I can actually hear it. That looks like 57. He's just going to watch Whitehall.
Yep.
He's actually going to creep down into it. We've got Will 57 also out on the corridor, but look at that patience, Andy. He just waited for a second, didn't get the double kill, but it was a great effort.
Yes, indeed. Now as we'll go over to the other side, back to Cristola, so 33-39. So still anyone's game. Make no mistake, over 4.5 left in the match. So these are an easy 6 kills that you can see swing quite a bit, trying to lay down some shots. Looks like that first one doesn't connect, so he gets a little more curious, but Cristola actually gets taken down there, but a good trade there with Vexus. So we'll go ahead and now go over to Anima, who has a 6-kill lead here. So just as I say that, you know, we know the Secret needs to play this very well, but they also need to make sure that they don't let Dinosaurs start to sneak in, because this game is not yet over. Despite how much credit I've given to We Know the Secret throughout the second half of this match, we can't count Dinos out just yet. They still have a sniper rifle in hand, and they've narrowed it down to a 5-kill deficit.
I'm always just like, every time we look, and how does he get that kill? He lines up the SMG, beats him down. Fair enough, it's a trade, but he takes down a scatter shot guy, which is super impressive because he really should have been able to do it. But it's one thing we have to mention is that scoreline. It's neck and neck, pretty much. Fair enough, they've only got a little bit of a lead. But
this Nest play is risky, though, because look how open they are here. Buck 20 is probably desperately wishing in a teammate there to shoot with him. It'd be easy to clean up these kills at Nest, but I think, I believe that's 57 who's trying to clean up those kills there.
It's kind of that time, though, Andy, where things could really escalate for one team, which, honestly, I think it's about to happen. Grenade goes in, he's going to land some hit markers as well, which is a big play, because then all of a sudden, we see Anima running to clean it up. 57's caught off guard as well, doesn't know where this player is, turns around, Flame's there with a storm rifle. He's going to charge into him with the SMG, he's got the carbine for the long range. If he wants to encounter, I've just seen the sniper rifle on the floor as well.
Septic should not have stayed alive there. You know, you expected one player, especially Flames, to be able to pull it off, but now Septic runs away with a 6-kill lead and a sniper rifle in hand. I thought he was going to pull it off, but, you know, once again, We Know the Secret playing just, it feels like one step ahead of their opponents, and they're capitalizing on opportunities. They're faster to move, they're faster to get across the map and collapse, and it's led to this, a 7-kill lead, only 3 kills left. You cannot just waltz out right there, right? You need to know that sniper rifle is across the map, but looks like finally they'll push across, but we'll stay on this side. So Anima trying to make something happen. 48-43 is the score. 2 kills left, Sims.
Cristo does have snipers, so let's see if he can actually move into a place where he can get some picks on there. But again, that would be the failing. If they lost it at this point and give away those kills to him, that would be the problem. Why rush? Why be aggressive? Fair enough, you want to hide. You don't want to get hit and taken down by the sniper, but you only need 2 kills to win. Don't feed him. Don't give him free kills, which, honestly, I don't think they're going to. We got 2 over there. We got one on the battleline ledge. We got 2.
I was going to say, I want to show Sergi 2 right here, because we do have a little bit of a flank going on. As you see, he's on this crafty little ledge, so we'll see exactly what he's able to do. He's actually just going to watch this, which I like. And the second that anyone on Dinos pops out, he'll be in a position to either collapse, provide supporting fire, and they know he's there. They are going to be really careful. He might try to, I was going to say, bank some of these nades, which might connect. If he had thrown 2, you have to wonder, would he have gotten that kill? But let's go back on the other side. Now Vex here at bottom middle. Who needs to be very careful as well. You see opponents all around him, but we'll go ahead and continue to cycle through. Well, actually, we'll stay on Vex just in case he might be able to get this. He's not appearing on radar. See sniper rifle fire coming in. So here's the question. Here's going to make the push right here.
Stolen! No! He actually missed the initial nade. He will get a second one in. Down goes the sniper. Now that's a big play because he can get in and take care of them and possibly even bring it back to rail, which is, you know what, doesn't matter. We got an Anima coming in across map with a plasma caster.
That's right. Teammates top mid. I had no doubt that they would be able to clean that up. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats now. Sergi 2 there, 17 on the board and 8. A big game from him. I have to say, certainly the biggest score biggest score across the board, because his next teammates, only one other going positive. That's going to be Anima at 15 and 14. And on the other side, you have 2 teammates. You have Septic going an even 7 and 7 there with the least deaths in the game. But anything else you noticed there on the scoreboard, Sims?
I think it was quite a fair game, 50-44. It's not the biggest of scorelines, but certainly the weapons at the end was kind of in the hands. Fair enough, you got the sniper rifle in the hands of Cristola, but you kind of need to be a little bit more aggressive. Would have been nice to see Dinos possibly make a push through tower and really try and flank round, get that sniper rifle over on the pipes and look down, maybe get a back rail pick or maybe even down the corridor, just try and find a face and then flank around, but they didn't. I think at that point, taking the sniper rifle, for me personally, into the bunker, the opposing team isn't going to come to you. It's as simple as that. They're not gonna wait it out. Especially if you're down, why would you sit? Why would you rush them? I would like to see them take that sniper rifle, work around, go up along the wall, move to, me personally anyway, where the stairs is, and just try and make some sort of advancement rather than kind of being put back in a corner.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think there's a few other things that I would point out as well. I mean, the one thing that I saw, I've been lucky to back in the day, coached several top teams and see what the ebb and flow and specific teams look like here as they play throughout these matches. By the way, you do have a chance to win some sweet prizes from a lot of our partners, as well as Astro and several other Halo partners. Make sure you head to esl.gg right on your screen /EU Finals HCS to learn all about that giveaway. But I have to say, one thing that we know, Sims, is that when you see a team like Dinosaurs, and it worries me because Flames had such a great opening rush. He gets the camo. He has to be so precise in the way he danced around grenades. He danced around automatic fire. He does a full loop all the way to the nest and is able to grab the SMG and the sniper as well as the camo. And then they did a full rotate to carbine side. It felt like they were doing everything they wanted to do. However, if you're not racking up kills, there is something in the formula that is not working right. It might be We Know the Secret is just playing a very different game that Dinosaurs didn't predict. Maybe it's as simple as they're watching the wrong sight lines, or for a second they look away, bad grenades catch them. There can be any amount of explanation as to why a setup like that might not work. But regardless, if you're a championship team and you want to come out with a win today to head to the fall season, you need to make those work, right? And when you see these top teams in the right setups, you see it all the time in North America as well. If there's a team who has a perfect setup on Coliseum for 2.5 minutes and they're not running a flag, there is a problem, right?
Yeah.
And it might not be an internal problem with that team with control. It could just be that their opponents are countering them so well and they're keeping one player alive in the cave or rocket side, right? As I said, that's the beauty of it. There's an unlimited amount of scenarios that could lead to that. However, that's what we saw from Dinosaurs right now. In the first half of the game, they were up by about 2 kills. As a player or a coach on that team or a fan, it is the most uncomfortable feeling to be up by 2 for a very long time. It's almost better to be the team that's down by 2 because then you're hanging with them and they aren't really inching on you. But when you're only up by 2, you need to start to pull away. They never did that. And as soon as we saw We Know the Secret with Control and Sniper, they got 3, 4, 5 kill lead, and then from there it was over. So once again, Dinosaurs not able to close it out. We've seen them with a few strong starts that didn't end in wins. They weren't able to close it out. So now the question is, as we go to Plaza Strongholds map that we've already seen, We Know the Secret win. What will the story be? Right?
This could be it. This could be the loser bracket for Dinos. I never thought we'd be. I mean, we all kind of predicted. I says there's definitely a chance, and I remember you putting a GIF out last week of saying there's still a chance. You're saying one of the best GIFs on Twitter. I just want to call that one out, but they are literally so close to being put out into the losers bracket after this game, and we've seen them play Plaza, and we've seen the aggression from Strongholds. More importantly, of We Know the Secret.
Yeah, I mean, we just talked about the series layout as well. What an interesting series we had. We had a CTF followed by a Plaza, and then the Rig, followed by a CTF, and then the Rig, and then Strongholds. Right. So if you look at the cards, like you just said, if all We Know the Secret has to do is win Plaza and the Rig, and if they do that, and they might just do it right here, they've won the series. So that's exactly how the picks and bans laid out. But I tell you what, Plaza Strongholds, if I have to put money on this match, I think We Know the Secret's going to close it out. But this is Dinosaurs with their backs against the wall right here. But we have a tweet here from Diminish.
Yeah, quick shout out to Diminish, one of the EU players. If you kids, yes, come out hot today and play aggressive. They will bamboozle Dinos, a relatively slow play style, and take the win. And we touched on that at the start. The kind of, fair enough, and we alluded to it in Flag. It's definitely worked for them. They've won both of them, and they've won both of them very convincingly. But coming into a Strongholds, they got their asses kicked, and it was a big win when we look back at Strongholds. And honestly, I can see the game, because this is where things get a little bit unfortunate, that they are literally on the edge now of being pushed into losers. There's a lot of pressure on them, and we have to remember, for all you guys at home, this is the team they picked. They thought that this would. I mean, in all fairness, that can sound a little bit bad, because out of these two teams, there was no easy choice.
No, certainly, yeah.
There's
a reason these two teams are here, right?
Yes, exactly. They are the best to come out of the open circuit. Congratulations to them both. They are fighting for a spot in fall season. If you are just joining us, welcome along, everybody. This, of course, is Relegation Saturday. 2 teams today could potentially be. There's so many scenarios. 2 could be relegated. We get 2 new ones in fall. We have 2 French. We might not have a single French. But either
there's a lot of
ins and outs, isn't there?
No, yeah, which is exciting here on Saturday to really not know exactly what a good percentage of the Fall Pro League will look like just yet. Of course, those answers are all going to be coming by the time that we're done today.
The Eye in the Sky is just about to go live. I have seen the custom game get kicked up. So could this be the end of the Dinosaurs in winners bracket? Could we see We Know the Secret going forward to face the winner of NTSC and Pulse Gaming, 2 dynamite French rosters?
And you know what I have to say, and this is a comparison I've made in the past, but what we're seeing from Dinosaurs, and it feels like with the veteran players here, their slow, methodical play style oftentimes works. You see it on the scoreboard. It works really well in CTF. But this reminds me of one of the first top teams that I coached was Final Boss during Halo 3, right? Right when the Neighbor joined the team and the epic back and forth between Walshy and Neighbor and Neighbor joining that roster. And what we had on that team was a pretty darn good team. We were placing third at the time, and we were actually, to be honest, quite unhappy with it, as you might imagine Final Boss might have been at the time, but that was a really slow team. We didn't play fast enough, so we could win certain games, but we could not beat certain teams who were able to play one step faster, and that's a little bit of what we're seeing here. So we're going to go ahead and get ready to get this game underway. We'll go ahead and start things off once again with Buck 57 on the Dino side. They're going to make this early nest push.
All right then, guys, in the chat, get hyped. Could we see the Dinosaurs falling down to the loser bracket? Could we see We Know the Secret moving forward? Who knows? We'll be finding out very soon as we see three players of Dinos are already dead. Obviously, Anima coming in with a double kill.
Yep.
He also bags himself the camo as well. They now can get this bottom mid area.
If you ask me, I think 57 needed to go for that burn because Anima actually wasn't targeting him at the time. It looked like he was trying to make a route. So he did have the second to either get the burn or, dare I say, even sneak away with that camo. 57, he made a bold play. Had he gotten the kill, it would have been a huge one. But Anima now with back-to-back doubles and the base defense. So a really strong start here once again from We Know the Secret. And Dinosaurs can't be feeling comfortable because they need to make sure they do not bleed out in the way that they did on the Rig Strongholds. The triple control from We Know the Secret was devastating for them.
Personally, he played that absolutely perfect. There was no better way to do it. He was super aggressive. His teammates behind him went inside for the yard. They cleaned up yard, and now they're just going to watch bottom mid. That's all they need to do. Just let them feed them into it, kill them over and over again. 57's going to get flanked by Vexus. He'll clean that one up. Gets the reset as well.
Perfect.
17-0 is your scoreline. The time's ticking, and that's all they need to do. They just need to keep killing them on rinse and repeat.
That's exactly what it is, Sims. I couldn't have said it better myself. He's able to swing around there with the with the Plaza pistol. He's thrusting around. He's staying alive. He's landing down the first part of the noob combo, waiting for his teammates to clean it up, and then he swings in for the reset. So this is textbook play as they're clearly outclassing their opponents 24-0. But just as quickly as I say that, we'll go over to Flames and on board with Dinos for the first time in this game as they are able to grab 2 points and start to get some control on the board.
That was a massive capture because 2 members of We Know the Secret were going after 1 member of Dinos, but the actual support from the Dinosaurs roster came in thick and fast, which allowed them to grab bottom mid.
Yep.
At this moment in time, do you think it's worth pushing for the free cap, Andy?
I think right now they need to just slow the game down, and I think if the opportunity presents itself, let's go for it. But for example, Flames needs to get kills like that, and then they can maybe go ahead and try to push. However, they need to just slow the game down, get some control, right? Maybe get into the 19-20 range, at least tie this game up, and push the advantage where necessary. I think they need to play everything situational, and right now they're doing quite well. Flames is able to clean this up, and for example, they don't need to push for the 3 just yet. I like what I'm seeing, and that's a great collapse as well. Flames is in for extra support, and we're seeing a very different Dinosaur. So it took them a few minutes, right? It took them about 2.5 minutes to get set up to really get in the groove here, but it feels like they finally know what's going on, and then we also see a camo grab there as well, so we're going to keep an eye on that. But here we are. They've done exactly what they need to do. Flames stayed alive in Cafe, and now we're just about at a tied game here, 24-24.
However, we're seeing bottom mid get blanket bombed by several members of We Know the Secret, and now they're going to transfer it across. The shotgun's also in play, but triple cap, holy hell, that was a sneaky play again. I believe it was Anima. Time and time again, they let him just sneak off. He'll pull that one. Now we can try and see 57 get back the yard. If they don't, this is the danger zone. They do. 2 people will jump on. They'll dogpile it. Pistola's going to run in. However, Jersey 2's got a shotgun. Will he turn around? Yes, he does indeed. But he does. How did he get that kill?
From a third-person view, it looked like it was a blind man with a shotgun there, just kind of looking around, but he's able to turn and get that kill. So that's unfortunate if you're Dinos, because for a second it looked like you were going to be able to push back out. But look at this contest here. They got Vex that they have to worry about, but they might get the cap if they're able to. No, look at this. And Anima, he also gets to stop. Big plays once again from Anima. My gosh, we have to go on board with him because look at them. It's 49-24, triple control, and like you said, they're collapsing. They're flying at their opponents. Beautiful play from them once again as they reach the halfway mark.
The pressure's getting thick and fast for Dinos now. They're still in triple cap, 24 points. This is looking really bad. Holy hell. Grenades are going in. We got Flames. It's actually Cristola caught down in the hotel. They're going to take back yard, but more than likely we'll see a load of players just push towards yard and try and take it back again. Vexus is putting some good shots on Flames, and look at Anime. He's got the call. Boys, let's push into this yard. Let's take it back. 57's there. Grenades are going to go in. Doesn't get any hit markers, but he's going to challenge it. Go one-on-one with the AR. Can he get this kill? It'd be huge. No, he could not.
But
so big kill to at least get the stop.
let's see if Vex is going to be able to push in there and get that kill, and looks like yes, indeed. So now he's just going to stay alive once again on this top mid area, on the plat and right around glass. To clean up those kills. 66-24 is your score line here. And I mean, once again, this is an amazing play from We Know the Secret. And if you're Dinosaurs, you did not want this to happen midway through the game. Dinos was able to get a responsive triple cap for just a very brief second, but it felt like We Know the Secret was just kind of patiently waiting until Dinos pushed out for bottom mid, and as soon as they did, they answered back with triple control. And as I say that, they have more total control, and it is not going to be longer here if We Know the Secret keeps it up, picks up that nade shot medal as well, finds players spawning. Flames is in all sorts of trouble, a world of hurt. Look at this, a killing spree here for Vex. It's 84-24.
Map control, aggression, they have everything. We Know the Secret are starting to run away with this game. They want to send the Dinosaurs to the loser bracket, and honestly, I can see it happening right before your eyes, unless they can get Nest, unless they can get bottom mid, and they really bring something back. Septic right now with the camo, great play from him. He's super passive, he just waits till the kill lines up, but 20 doesn't even see him.
I don't know how he didn't see him. Maybe he was zoomed in, possibly out of his, just out of his sight line there, but I can't believe it either. Now they're also going to go for a Nest capture just in case they might lose one of the other points, but my oh my, let's take a look in third person. I don't think they're going to get it. No, that's going to be a reset, so we'll go now over to Vex, who's thinking about trying to make sure bottom mid, but look, they don't even need to stop. Here you go.
And there we go, 99, going to tick this one over to 100, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Incredible, incredible stuff from We Know the Secret. They will knock your Pro League challenges down into the losers bracket. Oh my word, our first Pro League team in the relegation
is
going to get sent to the losers.
Yeah, we got to take a look at the stats there. I mean, 16-5 there from Anima. You talked about it all series long. I mean,
that's insane.
Yes,
that
indeed.
is insane.
I mean, take a look at that. I mean, 12 kills there from Septic as well. But you know, what can we say? There was
lots of words. Anima has gone off in 2 or 3 games now. He's putting figures like that on the board. This is kind of what this is what the player he is. We've seen it in the past. However, we've also seen him do bad in the past. These few games he's turning up. Now this is quite interesting because in the next game we see, Andy, on the next part of this, is we also have the same player in the form of Solar. These are like 2 vital players on these open circuit rosters that have come up through the ranks. They've been here, they know what they want. I spoke to Anima on Facebook in the past personally, away from all this, and all he said is, Sims, I want to be in Pro League, I want to do well, I want this. And the drive and the passion of these younger players, and a dominant force from him, definitely one of the MVPs of that first matchup.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, things from where I sit, Sims, things have certainly, I mean, relegation Saturday isn't over yet, but it looks like things have changed in Europe, because you don't expect to see names like that, the Buck Twins there on the bottom of the scoreboard here in a best of 7, but they have fallen in 6 games. Like you said, Anima stole the show time and time again, and it wasn't just moments where he was able to get clutch kills, but it felt like each time he was sprinting circles around his opponents. Right, he was always on the flank. He's picking up key kills. He's always in the right place. It felt like he was one step ahead of his opponents there, and the Bucks are going to have to fight through losers bracket, and what a run it would be. And I think they're a team capable of it, right? I think they can absolutely fight their way back in and maintain their fall season spot. Not going to be an easy road, though. Like we said, they're either going to have to play a Pro League team, or the team that they did not want to play.
The lesser of 2 evils.
Yeah, exactly.
Is the unfortunate term, but in no way can we say, like, the open circuit, in no way can we refer it to as amateur teams or teams that don't deserve to be in this Pro League as any less than anybody else. Yeah. These are high quality European players, and same in North America. There are high quality. You look at Denial, you look at Elevate.
Yep.
They are top tier professional players, and just because they're in the open circuit doesn't mean you should in game and out of game treat them any less. They're here to prove a point. They want to get in Pro League, and you know what? If they play like that, they've got a damn good chance.
They certainly do. We didn't get to see Coliseum Slayer there. That would have been game number 7. However, that story will not be told, and instead the one that will hit the history books is We Know the Secret, knocking Dinosaurs down to the losers bracket in round number 1. Quite a series indeed. I can't wait to see what's going to happen next up between these 2 French squads.
Indeed. And you know what? I can't wait to hear exactly what our analyst table has to say. So we're going to throw it over to Brycey and the boys. Gentlemen, it's over to you.
All right, thank you very much. Well, it seems like the Dinosaurs have taken one step towards extinction in that series. All right, guys, your first impressions from that one, that is not what we predicted. It was not what we were expecting.
No, it certainly wasn't, but I feel like I've heard that Dinosaurs extinction pun like 50 times already this season.
It's new for me.
Yeah, it's new for
alright,
you got to let him off with that one.
Yeah, it's certainly not what we were expecting. I mean, we all called Dinosaurs, we're going to take this series, but again, we also said what kind of Dinosaurs team's going to show up. If it's, the first half of the season Dinosaurs, then they should win. It wasn't. It was the second half of the season. The Dinosaurs team that went 0-6 in the second half of the season turned up this series, and they just didn't look like a cohesive unit. They didn't look like a team. They won the game types they were strong on, but lost badly on everything else.
Yeah, I think for me it was a bit of a surprise. Like I said, we all kind of said Dinosaurs going into this one, and it was a stronger team. We even thought maybe the Vetoes was actually more in their favour as well, but it just wasn't to be. A few times they did go strong. They started off really well, and it just disappeared. But let's go through this map by map then, and let's start off with that first map for them. And you know what? It didn't start off great either.
It didn't start off great, but I mean, it just looked like Dinosaurs had control of that game most of the time. They had most of the rocket kills. They had, most of the pressure. It just seemed like whenever we were watching We Know the Secret's point of view, they were always stuck in their base or struggling to get out, and Dinosaurs closed that one out pretty convincingly. And at that point, you thought, well, this is a difference between the two teams. You can see one's a Pro League team and one's not in the Pro League team, one's a Challenger team. And then the rest of the series happened, but I mean, we saw, some of the plays.
That's quite a brief analysis.
Especially some of the plays that we actually saw in there. For example, the Septic missed rockets that we saw.
Yep.
That's exactly sort of highlights my point. You thought this team maybe can't hang in the Pro League, and I don't know if it was that maybe they weren't quite warm enough or something like that. But there was a few big plays they didn't make that they should have made that might help them out in that game. But Dinosaurs just looked really strong in that one.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Dinosaurs take game number 1, 3-1. I mean, it was neck and neck for like the first 3 minutes, and then it was 1-0 after Flames got the second set of rockets, I do believe, and then the third set of rockets on the map, actually, like you touched upon, Mark, Septic from We Know the Secret got those, but he just whiffed, and as a result, Dinosaurs actually put 2 captures on the board. And then it was just kind of a spell of Dinosaurs pressure that kind of put the third cap on the board for them. A lot of front bridge runs there for them. I think Bravo touched upon that perfectly in the commentary. He said, hey, you know what, the difference between these two teams at the moment is the fact that Dinosaurs experienced enough to run it through front bridge, like through BR, up top snipe, and if they're getting pressured up top, they can just dip down low to the maze as well. So a good start for the Dinosaurs, but then just check out the rest of the series, man. I mean, it was pretty difficult from them.
This is where it started to go wrong, right? So we said about the video process. So they picked the first map. They took it. Then we went on to the second map, and we saw, We Know the Secret take that. We went, all right, well, maybe this is due to the vetoes that have actually gone on here. However, it was quite dominating. Take me through that one.
I mean, it was dominating is saying the least. I mean, it was the first steak dinner we've seen of the weekend and the first Slayer we've seen of the weekend. They dominated pretty much the entirety of the game. It was one play that I specifically want to sort of talk about is there was a play early on in the game where Septic actually didn't pick up any kills, but he was hanging around the light rifle and putting so much damage on 3 players who were trying to actually flush him out and kill him that all of those players died to his teammates. And little plays like that, those staying alive, the bait, the teamwork plays, I love to see, and he had a really strong performance in that one.
They didn't actually dominate the entirety of the game, though, Mark. I mean, early on in the game, Dinosaurs had BR control. I mean, they were holding down those rifles, they were picking off kills. At one point, it was a 10-7 game in favour of Dinos, and then the second overshield happened, and by that point it was already a 7-point lead, and then it just escalated into a 10-point lead, 17-point lead, 20-point lead for We Know the Secret. They were absolutely ruthless with their map control. And they won the game. Key performances from that game: Septic with 15-5. If you can go positive 10 in a Slayer, you're more than likely going to win your team that game. And then on the other side, negative 10 out of Flames. 5 kills, 15 deaths, nowhere near good enough.
Yeah, you're really going to struggle with those sort of stats.
Yeah, you certainly are. I mean, at this point in the series, we've seen these two maps go down. We're like, you know what? Right, fine. We've seen, we know the videos, we know they've gone this way. However, this next win, Secret taking it out, this is when we start going, right, now the Dinosaurs might actually be in trouble. This could be a bit of a bad run.
Yeah, this was an interesting one because this is, in my opinion, one of Dinosaurs' most strongest game types. Like Rig Strongholds. If you think about Dinosaurs, you think about Rig Strongholds, in my opinion, or Fathom Capture the Flag. Those two game types, I certainly would say, are Dinosaurs' most strong. They actually surrendered early control for Camouflage and Railgun. They decided, hey, you know what, we're going to just get a Stronghold, and now we're going to get the Camouflage and then the Railgun as well. And they actually got a little bit of control after that. It was 24-24 at one point, but We Know the Secret with total control got up to from 24-24 to 56-24. That's a massive margin, and it was kind of neck and neck after that. They kind of traded points like throughout the game, and it ended up 100-62. but Anima just went off that game. 19 kills, most captures in the game as well. Like, it was just a fantastic performance out of him, especially.
And there was a couple of moments you talked about there. There was the 25 when it was tied up 25-25, and I think Vex got hold of the camo and he got hold of the railgun.
Yeah.
He did so much distraction work. He didn't actually hit a lot of the railgun shots that he was doing, but Dinosaurs became so preoccupied with him challenging these hills and getting resets that they forgot about the other 3 players on the map, and they were just getting collapsed on so many times. And there was another example of that. That's effective use of the camouflage. Flames actually tried to pick up the camouflage for the Dinos towards the end of that game. He got shut down. I think he got shot by 4 different players.
Yeah.
Which is just incredible focus and teamwork from all of the guys on We Know the Secret, because he was desperately trying to stay alive. He was ground pounding, he was thrusting, he was trying to do everything in his power to just stay alive, but he was shut down immediately. So they obviously recognised how important that camouflage was at that point in the game.
Well, I certainly think so, and again, this is where they start to take the lead here. And as we move on to this next map, this is where we kind of went, right, well, you know what, CTF again, it's Dinosaurs, and they're going to come through, and they did win it. It's the only game type they actually won was Capture the Flag. But let's kind of go through it, because it was dominating from the game. It's like, well, where is this in the other game modes?
Yeah, it was very interesting because, again, like I said, they lost Rig Strongholds, which I think is a very strong game type for the Dinosaurs. Fathom Capture the Flag, they looked more like their usual selves, right? Despite Vex Zeus actually getting first railgun and the first camouflage as well, for We Know the Secret, Dinosaurs looked very comfortable in Fathom Capture the Flag. They had a lot of control, they had a lot of top-middle control, they had a lot of direction in terms of where they wanted to run the flag, right? A lot of teams these days are going to run it through the treehouse. It's a very long way to get the flag across the map. I actually really like the fact that the Dinosaurs just run it straight out the front of the base, so much quicker, so much more direct. They had faith in their ability to slay the spawners, and within the first 2 minutes it was already 1-0 for the Dinosaurs, and then they pretty much, because of their map control, got camouflage and railgun for most of the game. I think I saw a couple of railguns on Anima and Septic, but other than that, not a whole lot of control for the power-ups or the power weapons. One thing I will say though about game number 4, Fathom Capture the Flag, Septic, 10 kills in 12 minutes. That's a really poor performance from him.
And on the other side of that, you have Buck57 actually picking up 23 kills and leading the kills for his team. So huge performance from Buck57, not usually a player that you associated with being, one of the biggest slayers in the game, but he put up some huge stats there, and that definitely helped him out.
All right, now that game, dominating performance from Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
However, as we move forward here, this is really maybe for me one of the turning points of this series. We go into this next one, we see that, Dinosaurs, they start off well, they look pretty good in this game, it's neck and neck for a lot of it, they switch places a few times, but then it stopped. Then We Know the Secret, they got control, and it kind of just ran away from them then. What happened?
Again, it was a strange one, because like you said, they started off so well. I mean, Flames had the first camouflage, and he got the sniper as well. He got the first 2 most key weapons and power-ups on Rig Slayer. I mean, it was a great performance out of him at the start of the game. And with 6 minutes left, again, I think the scoreline was pretty even at that point. I can't remember exactly what the scoreline was. But Dinosaurs outslayed We Know the Secret to get the weapons, and then as soon as they got the weapons and the power-ups, they completely lost them. I mean, I genuinely don't know what happened, and the game ended up like 50 to 44, but a key man in that game, Buck20, really poor performance. Actually lowest KDA in the Pro League in regular season. He went 8 and 17 in a Slayer. 8 kills, 17 deaths. 8 kills is subpar. 17 deaths is subpar. When you combine them together, that's just abysmal. It's terrible.
Is that the difference? I mean, like I said, it was very close between these two.
There was one particular point in the map, I think, where it changed for me, which is Flames. You talked about around 6 minutes. We talked about the game changing.
Yeah.
Flames actually picked up camo and sniper rifle, decided to push into the white hall. He got tagged up so many times, and then was eventually cleaned up before he even managed to fire a shot with the sniper rifle or use his camo effectively. They shut him down, and then they went on a little run. I think Jersey 2 then picked up the next camo. He got hold of the plasma caster as well. Was another thing I want to point out. We Know the Secret had pretty much every single plasma caster in that map. We talk about sniper, we talk about camo, we talk about scatter shot.
Yeah.
The plasma caster is so good at clearing out areas in that map, the small halls, the walls you can bounce around, and they used it so effectively.
And you touched upon Jersey 2 as well. He actually really stepped up in this series. I was very surprised. He's the kind of player we know the least about in out of all the 8 players in this series. He's the one who's kind of the most unknown quantity, and I feel like he really stepped up. He played very solid. He didn't really show any glaring weaknesses. Very good job out of Jersey 2 that series, I think.
Okay, now as we move on to this next map, the final map, map 6.
Yeah.
Now, for me, this could have been only really 2 things. 1, they were on massive tilt, or 2, they gave up. Because it did look at certain points like that was just not even the team that we've seen for the rest of the series. It just looked like a really bad performance for Dinosaurs.
It really didn't bode well for them for the get-go when Anima was able to get a double kill, get the camouflage, and then get another double kill and a killing spree before he died. what just blows my mind about the Dinosaurs, they've been playing this game type all throughout the Pro League season, and they were still bested by an open circuit team. I mean, we know the secret coming out of the open circuit looked fantastic on this game type. They were playing it like Pro League teams play this game type. I love the fact that they were pushing the triple cap constantly. Every single time they got a triple cap, they were constantly looking for where the Dinosaurs were spawning, if they were capturing either the net or the yard or bottom middle, and they just pushed them instantly, shut down any pressure they had. If Dinosaurs were able to capture a point, they just got it straight away, and it's just like continuous control. 100-24 is a dominating scoreline, especially on Plaza Strongholds. And Anima, again, stepping up, 16 kills. And that camouflage play at the start as well. I think that really just drained the Dinosaurs from the get-go, and they didn't look like winning that game at any point, in my opinion.
It was one. I think you could almost pinpoint the moment they'd given up. There was a triple cap in effect. I think all 4 dead for Dinosaurs, and we saw Buck 57 spawn up. He was last player alive, for them. He just sprinted out of loop, straight upstairs. I don't know what he was attempting to achieve. Like, he was not going to kill 4 players who were winning all of their individual battles.
This is what I was saying.
That's what I mean.
It just doesn't make sense.
In his mind, he was going to go and kill everyone and capture Nest. That was never going to happen.
No.
That's a sign of people either aren't communicating, they've given up, they've lost hope, and I felt a little bit bad for the Dinosaurs at that point, but grateful we know the secret.
Hey, they put themselves in that position, you can't feel that bad for them. But
Exactly.
they have actually managed to go down to the loser bracket. We know the secret will continue on through the winners bracket. We've got another great game coming up next. It's a French showdown, Pulse versus NTSC. That's coming up right after this quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere.